Pony asks, am I pooping? Estoy pooping? No, he's not. I was dropping things off my desk and picking them up off the floor. How you doing? You know, I find it, well, I amusing. Don't know if it's ironic or coincidence, but the first cast I planned tonight actually has you in it, Mr. Depony. That's right, you get star. Well, as long as I'm saying that, then heck, might as well fire it up, right? So without further ado, we're just going to jump straight into things. And by straight into things, I mean we're going into a 1v1 battle. And it is going down on a very fun map, Loki. Alright, so as mentioned, it's a 1v1 between a couple of pros here. We have 1320 Depony versus 1356 Kelly, so we are looking at a ladder match. And first up down here we have Kelly. He is in the blue corner. He is going 0 from opening a first land, and as mentioned before, his opponent today is Mr. Depony. He's in red and he is going down, opening first land, and has that second air factory all planned out. Okay, so folks, Loki, not a huge amount of reclaim to be had. It's only 3,000 across the entire map, so it's not a huge thing to go for. But what you'll often see is the commander will wander down over this way, wanting to secure the secondary set of mixes here, which will push some engineers units over this way to secure the extra 4. Army tend to push just and hold this area. What do you mean, oh no, why? Oh no, why? You don't want me to show your terrible build stats? But deal with it. I had chosen this yesterday, so suck it, I'm going to be casting it. But anyway, so first thing, have some engineers popping out down over this way. They are doing a manual reclaim of the tree clumps to get more E and more mass. Just a clump over there. Shocking. Terrible. How dare you. It's a reject clump claiming though, so it should be fine. But yeah, so claiming clumps trees is very, very helpful for your starting eco. If I recall correctly, each of these clumps are worth 100 energy and 10 mass. That can't be right. I know trees are generally worth just energy outright, but the clumps themselves get a little bit of mass to help out the assistance. No combat units out from Depony just yet, as it's all engineers, all on the eco. We curved out the side and we see that Kelly has already Thammer to roll out with a scout beside us, so he's looking to do a little bit of investment. Other than that, looks like he is skipping straight past the reclaim part and going for the mass extractors straight away and the hydro. Over here we see the build orders are now queued for Depony. He's doing very similar, and he's also got an engineer over here to grab these mixes, as again Kelly's doing the same thing. Alright, still looking for those combat units from Depony, focusing on the early eco, and have air planned for Kelly. We do. We have one air factory there, which is actually coming up next. Then he's going to move on to another secondary land factory. Comparatively, Depony has already got his first and second land factory out, and the air factory is already complete, so he is ahead on the factory build power. Definitely got more. However, mentioned this combat unit from Kelly, and that Tham is looking like it's moving up over this way to do a bit of harassment here. Might catch an engineer or might be able to kill a mass extractor. Was a scout, there it is. It's probably just gonna, yeah, since it is often come over and just keep an eye on any building that might go over their place. Alright. Okay. Alright. let's get things started. And we actually have the third land factory coming with Deponia and a fourth and fifth plan, so definitely going for the line spam factor. Whereas over here we see Kelly has only got the second factory plan, so he's not going to have as much build power for units coming out. I wonder if he has another idea plan. Well, he does have an air factory plan down there to sit by the hydro. No factory there for Deponia, but that looks like a radar. And we mentioned about the killing of the mixes with this unit. Well, there we go. And nothing to respond, although Deponia does have his comm in the area. It's going to take some time to walk up here. By the time we get to that, mix is going to be dead. And the question is, will the Tham hang around to try and take out the second, or will it run away? Looks like running away might be the option. Goes. So the Tham's going to get away, and I'm not sure where it's going to. Looks like it's just going to chill up here, so maybe it's going to wait around for see if these get rebuilt and come back and destroy it again, or wait for an engineer. And we mentioned the whole scout and hover and stuff like that. Well, of course, Aeon has all this hover, so Deponia can actually push down here with some supporting units, send an engineer over and look at grabbing those mixes, which if he can hold on to those, because I think he'll be able to. Kelly is very firmly sitting in his base with his commander. Has got another factory up though, so he's got 3 land factories, 1 air, and there's a bomber out. That's going to cause a few problems as soon as it starts releasing bombs. There is an interceptor in the area from Deponia, which may well be redirected right about now, if he has heard the bomb, if he's realised what's going on. However, this is a denial over here by Deponia, so he's got the units in here to stop this expansion because the commander is absent, and yes, the interceptors have locked onto the bomber. Will it get another bomb off to kill his engineer? If it does, that will be quite helpful for Kelly, but it was going to be close. No, there are. But yeah, so these units deny the expansion, going to cause problems, but the same is up here on the flip side. We have units rolling in from Kelly to kill off this engineer and the mixes, so same having both sides, but the difference is Deponia is walking up with his comm. So he's going to be able to kill those units and hold that. And I mentioned about that Tham coming back to kill a mix. It has. Mix is down, but engineer has survived over here and is building up the mass extractors. I'm going to do a bit of reclaim. In the meantime, units have been funneling down. Here to claim that out. Now sharpen on forward to Deponia's comm gets up here and holds that away from those units. Alrighty. Tham did, like I said, Tham did come back and kill this mix, but looks like it's going to get visited by an Aurora and a Scout. Rolling up with an Aurora directly into the face of a Tham, not usually a good idea. Very weak. Down it goes, but there are more coming, so Tham is not long for this world. Alright. Small little run by from Deponia over here to try and get these units out. They could of course go straight off into the water, which is exactly what they're doing, except for the fact there's a bomber around, and that's going to cause them to have a bad headache. Right, Pony has claimed up here with his commander, shoot away these units because they can't stand up to a comm, so why give a free veterancy? So he gets to work on building some more mass extractors. Small little push through the middle here, but they're going to run straight into Kelly's comm, who, while behind the times, is eventually getting to where he needs to be to help hold, and these units are not going to fare too well against a comm plus units. And that will be all she wrote. 2 Auroras over here, left of this group. They take down, I think there was an engineer, and some interceptors actually tune up to take care of that bomber as well, so they are now free to have a go at these mass extractors as long as they don't get interrupted by land units. Still got a stream coming in this way, wanting to try and deny this for as long as possible, but single units streaming into a group of Thams doesn't usually end that well for the streaming units unless there's a lot of them, and that's an anti-air, so it's completely useless in this context. Checking out up here, we have another factory in place to try and help defend, as well as a point defense, and that's a terrible place to land your aircraft. Gleefully waiting to shoot. Up they go. Yeah. Probably just a lack of attention, probably thinking somewhere else. That's interesting. The Zoomies could have gone on the water, and the Aurora is beelining for something, sits still, and is going to take a couple of idle shells. Alrighty. And yeah, Kelly with the comm down here has secured this area now, so we're going to need a lot more spam to take him out. And over here we have Deponey pushing up to the top corner with his commander. And he's going to have to be careful because that is now 2-point defense. That's a lot of DPS coming out and he can't really tank that with his face. Especially with more units coming in. It's only a couple, but there's enough to make him rethink that position. Understandably. Key 1-point defense is quite nice. Now we have a look at here though. We have an absolute constant stream of units coming down this way from Deponey. That is coming from these 3 factories here. Well, he's got another 4 pushing out to the west. And the air factory is just putting out the occasional interceptor just to have a little bit of air to help out and cover. Alright then, checking out the other side of things, we do have tech out from Kelly, so he's actually got T2 on the ground. He's popped out his first T2 engineer. I imagine we'll see a couple more, some T2 power, and then Ilshivers will jump on the ground. And Ilshivers, of course, are very nasty against T1 units. They do quite well against the paper-thin Auroras. Can kill them in a much faster time. Looks like no huge attempt of a hold over here. Just wanted to get the extra eco while he can. Knows that once this is well established, that this section will be under a fair amount of danger. While it does have a hover, it's going to be hard to hold. But roll that, and things are looking relatively even territory-wise. When you look at that split over the mixes down on the angle. Except Deponey has this lovely large force here ready to roll in, and it looks like they're coming up this way. No, as soon as I said that, they redirect, so never mind. But we have a counterforce from Kelly doing basically the same thing, though a bit further behind, a bit smaller, and Deponey has a second band here ready to go. Looks like the engineer was coming up this way to, I don't know what, he's got a radar down, which is a strange place for a radar, but that's okay. Checking up the top here, units are popping along to help take out that, and Deponey is getting T2 on his comm, so that's going to be able to get an absolute area denial over here of any units that try to come over. Morning, food man. And no, how dare you? No, it's morning for you, even though it's evening for me, so that's why I said morning. How are we doing? Checking out down here while Deponey is getting T2 on his comm, Kelly is getting gun on his commander. So as soon as he's got that, that is going to make Auroras a very distant prospect. And got these few Auroras over here are trying to sneak past, but they have been spotted by a pair of Zuis. And they're not going to last too much longer as they keep going in a straight line. But whilst this, we've got a couple more over here. Are they meeting up for a group session? Might. And in fact they do. They take down the Zuis, and now there's 2 Auroras free to do what they like. A couple of engineers over this way could die, or they could just waltz in here and start taking out some structure, but there's more THAMs coming off, so they won't last too much longer. I hear Ilshivers. Yeah, those are going to be tough to deal with. I guess one of the good things about Ilshivers is they don't hover. This group has to be careful. They are coming in for the kill. Checking out up here, over here I should say, we see Kelly has pushed up with his comm. You can hear the gun going off. But he's not continuing to push over here. Maybe he's aware of this force, doesn't want to get isolated from the rest of his group. Doesn't have any engineers here building factories for that extra production. And neither does Deponey up here. However, his T2 comm is right here ready to come on in. As this massive strategy gets tickled down to death by a single Aurora, there is an out of fuel scout flying overhead to give some intel. Engineer comes back to reclaim and it's going to die, I imagine. There we go, there's the final shot. And the extra health from the 2 to upgrade means Deponey can just walk straight up into here. Gotta be a little careful. Has got the Ilshiver plus the T1 PDs just wandering straight into them. And yeah, that's a capture order, so that's actually going to turn the turret both of them, in quick short order. And now that Ilshivers is not long for this world. So literally turning the tables by having his own And now those are in place to cause absolute devastation for the nearby things. Builds his own factory because, hey, why not? Slaps down some anti-air in case the bomb turns up. But we have a pair of worshippers in the middle. The airbolts line up, and there's not really a lot to stop those. We have had a T2 shift here, and that is obsidians coming out, so a good answer to worshippers are obsidians. They have a very strong alpha, and this section of the map is gone. As expected, eventually it was just taken away. Deponent put no resources into defending it, didn't really want to try and hold too much. Alright, and now we have these guys trying to skim through the middle on the old hovery self, but they are going to run into Auroras, and they should... I think the Auroras should win out on the case they're having a faster fire rate, as long as they have intel. And I completely missed this push. So that was the bound units we saw down here, and it looks like they have come across the land and moved up to try and do some damage to the base, and damage they did. Took down a bunch of power, and was that the T2 factory as well? That indeed it was. So no more Ilshivers for Kelly. He's going to have to rebuild that. He has lost the means to produce Ilshivers. And if we check up here, Ilshivers are trying to take on... I know they're good, but I don't know if they're that good. They stay at range, they might have a chance. Maybe, yeah. If they stay at range, they might do okay, but that army moves up, they are done for. Some more Ilshivers up there. Now we spoke about Deponent, and that's a tack launcher. Not the item I expected them to actually build. It was amusing to see different coloured items. You can't capture walls, of course. I wonder what he's going to go with. Going to attack for that. Ilshivers was coming over, but of course he'll be fine from those because they do not have hover capability. They will not be able to traverse this little pond of water. So quite safe. More Ilshivers over here being a pain. And where is the comm? There it is. Okay. And some Ilshivers pushing up, so those Auroras ain't going to get much done at all. Got a few more Auroras picking in the middle, trying to pick a fight with an Ilshiver. Yeah, okay, more Ilshivers. Not going to get anything done with that. Checking down here, Kelly is still wandering around with his comm, just trying to keep things under wraps. Got a few units. There has been a counter push from Deponent, wants to clean out this area from any engineers in case they were building, but there are none. There were just units. And Deponent has pushed up with his comm. So he's walking along and just plinking away at a factory. It's going to take a while to kill. Reclaim it than to actually shoot it, but he is. At Tech Launcher, still sitting around, not doing a heck of a lot, but he's going to be a little careful because there are a few Ilshivers coming to clean up this, where some engineers are heading towards. It won't be too long, too many of them going on. I do wonder what he's going to go for that. There we go, so the missile's loaded. Going to have to try and keep half an air out for that. Just have a quick look at the other side of the map, and okay, Kelly needs to be a small bit careful. Sizable forces in the area. He's got a single T1 PD, but could do with putting some walls around that to help defend. That projectile as well. I mean, he does have gun comm, which can help with all of that, of course. And he has rebuilt a huge swath of factories here for more spam. Don't see... Ah, there we go. So he's upgraded that factory there to T2. So he does have Ilshivers again. And I don't know whether he's scouted it or he's just being preemptive, but that is another TAC defense. Let's have a check. No, he had no idea the TAC missile launcher was there at all. He's just decided to build that. And speaking of TACs, there it goes. Where's it going? Looks like it's going for here. Maybe this T2 mix right here? No, it's gone for the factory. So knocking out a T2 factory. Well, that's not a bad shout. A bad shout. Hurt. Thank you for the follow. That's how I pronounce your name. Hurt. Anyway, these Ilshivers did come in over here, and they have made mincemeat out of those T1 point defense, although I wonder... They got reclaimed. Anyway, Deponent's in the area with his comm, and as long as he's got access to overcharge, which he does not actually, so he has to be tiny bit cautious. Well, he's got plenty of hit points, and these are damaged, so he should do okay. Alright, then checking out the other side, we hear Kelly, and he's having an argument with the ground, and I think the ground is going to win that one. Many times as he wants to shoot the ground, it is not going to budge. But having said that, that's a strange place to land your interceptors, and this is an Aurora. Too scared to go over the hill. Doesn't want to get anywhere closer to that. Unfortunately, Kelly's comms on the move, and I think that's going to be... I'm just going to shoot the interceptors first. Yep, interceptors down. There's a shot onto the Aurora, so didn't quite survive. Do have a small band of, looks like obsidians rocking up this way. They want to clear out this region. And clear it out they will. The T1 PD does not last long without walls. They have a very good alpha strike. It's going to be the end of that when it goes into death. Alright, checking up here. He did finish off the Ilshivas. Now is ready to grab the reclamp them by the look. Maybe not. This is while he wanders around. Hasn't got much in the way of support up there. Just as commanded. It is T2, but hey, that's alright. There's a couple of missiles loaded into here, and still has the one kill, so it's only killed that one factory. I do wonder if he's hanging on to it because of knowledge of the tech defense. Yes, he is. He knows it's there, so not much point using it on that. And if we check over on the right, this is a push from Kelly up here, so he wants to reclaim some territory and get rid of some of this. He has got his gun comm, he's got a good number of Ilshivas with it. And how's the T2 mix over here? Well, there is none. So there are no obsidians to help stop this push, and I'm pretty confident this slot, with the comm included, could waltz up here and take care of everything, but that's a lot of bombers. Yeah, they're T1, but I'm not seeing a lot. Oh no, there's some anti-air actually. There's one there. Not seeing any flak though, and that's a good spread bomb actually, so the oldie pick multiple targets and shift G to... No wait, it's not shift G. No, I can't remember the command off the top of my head, but you can choose different targets by selecting a whole lot, and you can see the area bombing still, the focus is actually going down pretty well, and that's a significant amount of damage from these bombers. There's a bunch of them, and there were some interceptors around, but they are static over here and are getting tangled up with Depone's interceptors as well. So a small bit of an air fight, but those bombers have done their work, and still they go on. Still just one kill for that tech launch, which is now up to 3 missiles loaded. Got a small bit of a fight going on over here. Have some obsidians sitting still. Not a great idea when there's Archie coming along, so you're going to take some extra damage. Not going to get a lot done on that front. Another couple more obsidians over here. We might see an Yoshi death or two. And in fact, there's more units coming in, so I think that's going to be a bit of a win over there as well. Those bombers have moved around and are looking for another target. They fly right over some flak, who's more than happy to oblige them with a good strumping. Itself a bunch of kills, and looks half of these fall out of the air. But they've picked up a new target, and it's going to be the T2 power generator. If that goes down, that might cause some issues for Kelly. How's he running? Well, he'll be okay. Won't be the end of the world, but he's going to be loading a bit. He's going to need to rebuild more PGens really quickly. Question is, can he afford to do it? He will want. Does he have overcharge on his comm? No, he doesn't. So no overcharge for either. Oh no, I take that back. The pony's built a mass storage. E-storage. And now he has it. We have an Ilshiva facing off against 4 obsidians. That will not end well for the Ilshiva. Free to wander up and start causing some more havoc. So what's Shift G? Kelly knows nothing. You're quite right. He's got no scouting. He's got no radar, unless you killed it. But he has no idea about anything. All this up here, up there, commander's there, that's built there. He scouted that a while ago before it got upgraded. I think he just might have, looks like he might have been off his game. I'm kind of surprised. Anyway, he's getting pushed down here now, and this is all in danger. The T2 factory trying to put out more, but there are obsidians, and They pack a hefty punch. If anything, so the power was rebuilt by the engineers. That's all good, and that's their radar backup. Reach very far though, does it? No. You kind of want at least T2 radar at this stage to see a bit further. And Kelly says, I'm a pathetic idiot noob. Shame. So, guessing he's annoyed about this. But I think the game is very much well into Pony's favour, because these mixes are going down once again. And it's really limited Kelly to just this section. He's got his comm over this way, but he's not terribly effective. Can't call on support, and these obsidians are just waltzing through, wrecking that place. And we have another force here ready to cut off reinforcements. Got some anti-air up and ready to go. The problem with that is anti-air can't shoot groundings, so they're not going to last too much longer. Kelly is down here with this comm trying to rebuild. Says shame once again, and up goes the... oh, never mind. Tech Launcher is not going to get itself another kill because everything dies from Control K. There we go. So that's the first round of today, and Pony bombing radar all game, patrolling air. And I know, but you'd think there'd be a little more scouting, and you actually had T3 by the end of that. Just ticked over to T3 right there, and Harbingers would have been an extra nightmare that Kelly could not handle with, and he didn't even know it was there. I can't even scout the buildings. But that's alright. So, congrats to Pony, well done, you won that game. Let's move on to our second. Pretty comprehensive to play, just a intensive display. Need to slow down my words. But he took that map, played it out, played it solid. A couple of small raids caused some issues, but other than that, not too much dramas. Alright. From 1v1, we're just going to skip over to a 2v2. Let's launch this. And this is going down on a random generator map. So it's going to be something new, something people haven't played before, so it's going to be no map knowledge. Alright. Anytime now. Not sure why it's downloading the replay again, because I have seen it before. I did speed through to make sure it didn't desync. Anyway. That's fine. I'm not going to object too much. Time now. I wonder if there's been an update, because it's now telling me downloading forgedefiance.exe. Did not do that for the cast I just did for the 1v1. That one jumped just about straight in. Alright, some apologies on there, people. Right. It looks like it is actually doing an update. I am going to crash out. I'm making go a bit faster, going incredibly slow, like a pixel every very long time. Bear with me, I don't want you to sit through having to wait on games. Shall relaunch, reconnect. And see if we can get this going a little bit faster. And throw in the replay ID. To load and fire away. Okay, grabbing the replay again, won't be too long. know. Right. So, to be extra annoying, folks, I'm going to have to apologize in a big way because it now wants to update through the launcher, and this is going to take forever. So, options are I can switch to playing another game and leave this to download in the background, but honestly the speed is going, it's not, I don't even know it's going to finish tonight. Never seen it download this slow. Never. Absolutely ever. Since I've been talking about the download, it has done 3 pixels out of God knows how many. Well, this is unfortunate. I had a few good casts lined up. I had the random TV that we were about to watch. I had a settings game. Had a 5v5 random map, which was looking like a couple more I wanted to play through, a Mad Sea map. But yeah, if I can't launch the replays, I cannot provide you the context. Right, different replay. Well, maybe. Didn't think about trying a different replay. Didn't say it was downloading the like a mod or something like that. It said it was downloading Forged Alliance, but so I shall relaunch. I shall give it a test with a different replay. If that one doesn't work, then hey, it's going to be bugged. Or a settings map would be fine. I just wait for the ye olde replay server to go. And a good idea, Debony, to try a different replay. We shall see, we shall see. Any time now. Right, replay downloaded. Downloading. Range. Buy some time to download this replay as well. Replay's not that big. It's only a replay file, they're never that big. Like what? 400k? Alright, let us double check what it's doing. No, it may be that particular replay that is balked. So fun times. We skip the random 2v2 and instead we go into a settings. Alright, you all know settings. Everybody knows settings. Settings clutch. Let's start up here. Let me just fix up the some bobs. Okay, so team 1 up top here, team 2 down the bottom as per usual. And we shall start over here with the Beach Navy, and this is Have. He is going yellow Aeon, opening first land. Up the front we have Make a Web, and red UEF opening first land. Over on the Rock Navy it is, as soon as I get my cursor in the right place, Black Sky Lane. And light blue Aeon, and that is first air, so is probably going the Rock. And up the top we have Valier and Grey Cybern. Make Web says they are stack. I don't know about that. The average ratings are showing as in Team 2's favour by 25. It's a 93% balanced game, and while the highest rated player is on Team 1, the lowest rated player is on Team 1 as well. I don't know, and this is a difference about the games played, which we can't see here. I think it looks pretty even. Anyway, that's Team 1, and we see that Make Web is off to the front already. Let's drop on down here, have a look at Team number 2, and we have in Purple Cybern, it is Boss Life, living the best boss life he can. In the front player we have Pruglar PDM, and well, he is a Cybern in the Cyan, and he's already stomping away to the front. He's a little behind. Web there. And over on the Navy rocket is Strife. He is bright blue UEF, and I'm thinking those are the PGens for an air factory plan. So, and he's got some PGens around his mass extractor to make it cheaper to upgrade. And finally, in the rearguard air position, it is no red for you, which is kind of amusing because he's not the red player. Make a Weebers, but anyway. Okay, anyway, but he's there. He's Aeon, he's Burgundy. He's opened up first air, and away we go. Hello, hello. I think I had some stream stutters. I lost some frames. Appears stable now. Okay. Let's keep it like that, stream. Alright then. But up to the middle, and as mentioned, we have Makerweb already on his way up to the front, and he's grabbing Reclaim on the far side, so he doesn't have to walk back past, whilst Pruglarpedium, I'm just going to call this guy Pru. I'm not going to try that again, it's just Pru. So Pru versus Web, they're going to have a little scrap in the middle over the, how much is there again? 13,000 Reclaim. So it's worth scrapping over. Com's going to be there. Some units are walking out from Pru, whilst Makerweb has just got his commander at this time. You may find yourself at a disadvantage soon, especially as they are artillery, which outrange the com. Up here we have, that's a bomber coming out from Strife, so maybe he is concerned about a counter drop happening and wants to kill any engines that might turn up, but he doesn't need to, because Have doesn't even have an air factory yet. Once he finds that out, he might send it over there. And speaking of bombers loitering around, we have one here from Velia, and this little bomber here may come over this way and kill a couple of engines to deny that expansion. There's the scout going overhead, and there is the bomber. So the usual shots up the front. These guys will be alright, just tickling each other for a while. We don't need to focus on them too much. They're doing their usual job of grabbing mass. Over here is the fun though. Along comes the Zeus. We see engineer that is paused for some reason. Effective resistance, probably cleaning off that, but the bomb's away. Engineer away. And I imagine we're going to see that circle back around and kill the other NG. There's the command, there's the turn, there's the spin, and doing what exactly? Okay. Doing another lineup. Bombs ahoy, NG starts moving. Is it too late? Yeah, it's too late. But he's got 2 out of the 3 mixes, so unless that bomber's going to circle back and clean some of them out, it won't matter too much. There's no interceptors around to actually stop it, and these guys still having to go at each other, both down into the yellow, but they should be right. In fact, jumps back into the green, except there's an arty around to shut for that away. We mentioned bombers. There's actually a similar one up here from Strife going for this guy. Bombs ahoy. That's dead engineer. That's his first kill. Checking up here, and Pru is standing still. He's getting a lot of reclaim, but he's standing in the arc of artillery fire, and that is not going to help his cause. He's just going to shed HP for free. Yes, he's getting a reclaim, but he's losing a lot. In the meantime, Webb is, well, he's not getting reclaim at all. He is fighting units, and Pru needs to be a little careful. From down to 4,000 here, this bomber has got itself 3 kills before it finally gets tagged by an interceptor, and it will go down. And I lost the bomber down here from Val. Yeah, I don't know where that's gone, but there is a drop. No red had planned a drop somewhere, but it has changed directions. Up here though, we see Pru is not quite underwater, so he's still taking shots. But however, he is now okay. And that sort of leaves, what, 7,500 reclaim for Makerweb to get, and Pru can't come out of the water just now. Could maybe go for the draw in the mid if he wanted to. He's got some of his own units here, as it does Webb, so it's going to be a little bit of a close one. And Webb is just make sure he stays underwater there, though that's a dangerous position for both commanders, both very low. And should they come out, it could very easily turn out into a draw. So there we go, some more shots going down on Webb, who's actually got overcharge. I thought I saw the icon when I hovered. He's down into the red as well, so yeah, he can't linger. That's pretty much both commanders out of the action. They will want to stay away and be careful, so it's going to be units on units up front. And Prue is straight away going up for T2. That's not a bad idea. It's going to give him a little bit of an extra health boost, as well as some more building prowess. Alright, checking out, where did that drop go? Nowhere. See the transport even? It's all the way back here. So I think maybe just dropped off some engineers. Would very well be. Alright, checking out the side islands. As expected, the rock players have grabbed them, and Strife is well established with a few ground defensive units. No anti-air, but he has all the mixes, and there's some more coming out of the factory. On the other side, kind of the same thing, except we have anti-air in this group. And it's under control. Checking out the navies, we have a single factory for Black Sky Lane versus the 4 and 8 more factories planned by Boss. So Boss is all about that navy spam, and he's going for it. We have no factories out for Strife just yet. This is a torpedo launcher first. Wants to secure the area before popping down a factory, while we have 1, 2 and 3 planned for Have. Got some air out to do some defensive duty. We see Webb is currently stomping his way back. He's had enough of being up the front with this comm, understandably when you are that low on health. And there's a radar popping up for him as well, so he will be able to see all of this. And in fact, it looks like Prue has regened much nicer than Webb. And he's actually not that far off finishing the T2 upgrade, so he may well have the advantage if he can get that finished off. There we go, so this is actually a drop from No Red. He's bringing engineers up, and what's the idea? Well, the transport's going to die because it's got an interceptor chasing it. And this is the interceptor goes down to anti-air, turns away, in fact, and it's going to die anyway. Alright, bit of a push here up from Prue, so he's decided, I don't want you keeping this area. It might be a hurt commander, but it's still a commander, and that is not enough, especially with the extra units around, to particularly worry him. A bomber comes along and kills a few trees. Those poor trees, think of the global warming. We need these trees alive. And Webb drops down into the red. The Webb is red in the red, but he'll be fine. A bunch of engineers die here, so that PD does not get completed, but there's enough units to shoo him away. Up here we see Prue is ripped up very nicely. He is over 50% HP now, and he should be fine. He's going to walk up a little bit. I expect we'll see a point defense go down just to give area denial. And yep, that's a Cerberus turret, so that should possibly be followed by flak. The question is that Cerberus turret going to be in range of an upgrading commander? No, it's not. Just out of reach. Way out of reach, I take that back. Alright, so I've got some naval units popping out from each side. We have some frigates out from Have, and we didn't have that factory fixed up by Strife. He's got another 1, 2, 5, 7 planned. These are probably the spam factories that might turn out to be his main one. Over the side, still sticking with a single, but it is going to T2 for Black Sky Lane. The other side, we already have T2 for Boss, so that's half, 40% done on the first destroyer. So if we can get done and roll straight up here and cause absolute havoc. Right, Cerberus turret decides to focus on the frigate. If it comes a little closer, it's probably going to fire, but instead picks up a new target. The ground? Nope, engineer. I have got another Cerberus turret going up over here, is going to have a bad time versus a Lobo and a Triad. So Lobo's going to die, Triad is not though. Good damage, and this is a, if you stand your commander in just the right spot, you can actually take the shots from the enemy point defense just to give it time to do some more damage, except the problem is Triad's outrange Cerberus turrets, I think, and besides what, he didn't have the radar required to see the target to shoot, so he's going to have to drop back as things die. Frigates out in the ocean, they are just chilling. If they moved up here, they might be able to kill some of this build power, but they will also need to focus down that torpedo launcher. 4 factories, 1, 2, 3, and any moment now, there we go, 4 factories up and pushing out units. Alright, that T2 shift was completed, but there's no building at this stage. Well, we're focusing on some power up here, and that's still T2 air. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units. Well, you've got the 2 subs, 2 frigates, and a destroyer. If Boss had any idea what he was up against, he would send those in right away. Now we have the beginning of a destroyer for Black Sky, and he's got some more factories lined up. Another 6 assists with the spam. Alright, checking out the middle, because this is where the action currently is. We have a Cerberus having some problems. Is going to die. It dies. Let's just check the ranges on these. So we see Cerberus turret is reaching just to the edge of that triad, which, okay, no, it's actually reaching the same distance, so they do share the same gun range. So I take back what I said before, it's all the same, but what the triad does that the Cerberus turret doesn't is fire in an arc. So it can actually shoot over these annoying little tiny hills that the Cerberus turret just cannot handle. Anyway, checking out up here, we have Navy plus T2 air, so some tall bombers are out for strife. They're going to help push things back. Interceptors are rolling in from Have, and he's actually got a drop of 6 artillery. If that gets on the ground, it's going to cause some havoc. It's going to have to be careful though, because in the area is a whole swarm of interceptors ready to launch and find a hapless transport that gets turned into Bulge. Looks like the might have been caught there, but he should be fine. Bit of a push up here from Prue, but one unit into a bunch of triads is never a good idea. He did manage to kill this one off, but looks like a T1 PD hurriedly erected along with these 2 triads over here helped blunt that attack. Okay, now we mentioned navies before, and so many factories. They're paused, and it looks like we're just focusing on the T2 out of the HQ over here for Boss, while Black Skyline has built up more build power, and that's a T2 sub as well. So he's got, there is a destroyer flying over this way, and if it gets close to the shore, it could cause some issues with that, because, well, there's a single Cerberus turret, but it's not going to get a lot done. It appears that Prue has already fallen back. There's his commander there, and is going to build a secondary defensive base up this way. And we see the destroyer's already having some fun, killing off a hapless engineer, just doing his best to reclaim things, and now gets to work on the structure. It's got to be careful though, because there is a counter destroyer coming in from range. Has got backup of a few T2 subs though, so I think this is well outmatched, especially with the Exodus in the region. Just needs to keep dodging, keep turning, and the Exodus will miss, and that will be gravely helpful. Round. A second destroyer coming out. Cruiser getting built by Black, so he's a little concerned about anti-air, and fair enough. Right, checking out in the midsection though, so we now have good old mobile missile launchers. Vipers sliding out from Prue, and they are going up against the Flapjacks. And that is T2 Arty. What's that going for? Looks like it is trying to pop the point defense. Nobody's using that anyway. And the Viper missiles are getting through. They kill off the T1 PD, but you're going to need a few more to beat the twin buzzkills and the shield. Right, let's have a look at the Navy situation. We have 2/3 of the way towards Tech 2 for Have. Looks like Strife already has Tech 2. How many Tech 2 units has he got in the field? Well, there we go. We have a Cooper, actually. That's an interesting choice. So he's expecting subs from Have, which I don't know about that. Of course, Coopers are great when you're fighting against submarines. They have their own strong torpedoes, and they have a good anti-torpedo defense. But hello, That is Webb walking up, so he got a bit tired of the Vipers and said, look, go away. And go away they have. T2 back here is going to make life a bit miserable for anything nearby, including this mass extractor, I think. Check the right. Yep, it's got a factory, mass extractor, and the radar. All in range. Appears that Black is pushing up with his navy, so it's going to provide a little bit of assistance. He has got a bunch of Auroras floating around with it as well, just for some extra annoyance in the air. And speaking of air, that is T3. Is that the first T3 air unit? Oh no, there's a bunch of ACFs up here. And a bunch in there, so it's the first scout though. So it looks like nobody's actually ahead in the air game, judging by the ACF count he's got there. Let's just have a quick check. So he's knocked out 7, whilst Vel has got... Okay, it's actually pretty even. Vel has 2 ion reactors. It's the 1, but he has secondary factory. So he's got more build power. Once he gets set up, he should be okay. So looking fairly even as far as that goes. Checking out down here, we have counter artillery firing out. Fairly static. There's not enough units from either side to really trouble each other. There's enough PD to shoo things off as well. Nothing being built at the moment because... why? Because units are in the way. You need to move your deceiver. A bit of a navy squabble over here on the east pond. We have T2 and T1 mix. We have shards rushing out to be the vanguard. All they can do is take a few shots and die. They have 0 anti-navy capability. They are 100% anti-air, and that is it. Break off from each other and all is fine. Absolute swarm of frigates with a single destroyer in the mix coming down towards the mid, and they could cause some issues if that artillery is left on auto. Not much the frigates can reach, but the destroyer, where's it gone? There. That could actually cause some havoc. It's got the range to do things. Range to cause pain. Okay, let's have a look at the ecos. Haven't checked on that at all during the map. We see that Team 1 is actually ahead on the generated eco and also in the total eco into the game. So that's not a small amount either. That's 25k in favour of Team 1. So if they keep that up, they'll be doing pretty good for themselves. Torpedo bombers out to try and shuffle away this force. Going to take out a frigate or 2 perhaps. In comes the air from Vel, however, and Red actually runs away with his ACS, probably because of the large interceptor wing from Hav. There's yeah, trying to take on both of those at once, not going to do so well, and there's a cruiser in the mix. That just popped out. So Webb has decided it's quite okay with his ground force at the moment, which is probably right. There's not that much to take him on, and he has jumped himself into the Navy game, grabbed T2, and it's going to be a 2v1 in the pond if Prue can't do something about it. Well, Prue kind of is doing something about it. He's got himself T3 HQ down here, and that is artillery coming out. In fact, we've got the one idea there and 1 bouncer for anti-air. You can send those up and start doing some extra damage, although it needs to be careful of the T2 because they will outrange the bouncers and cause problems. Checking out back here, and nope, looks like Webb is sticking with the T2 for now because he has sunk resources into this down here, T2 Navy. But that T2 Navy is going to help this T1 Navy with a couple of destroyers thrown in. And as long as that cruiser stays out of range, spam missiles to its heart's content, except for the fact there's now a counter-cruiser attack missile defense on board, which is going to help. It's clear. Now over here though, we have shipboats, we have Coopers, no destroyers. Right now I think he wants more destroyers. UEF destroyers ain't bad for taking on T1 units because they have reasonably rapid fire. Unlike the Aeon destroyers, which have their single large, powerful, but a lot of overkill Tier 1 engineer. And that looks like a group command to move down there, and the Coopers are right up front. Not where you want them to be because they are particularly weak. They have less health than a frigate. So they get shot, they die much easier. Some torpedo bombers flying overhead, looking for probably the cruiser. Doesn't matter so much. There's another one comes flying over. Anyway, check it out over here, and well, it's a bit of a standoff. It is shielded Artie's vicious shielded Artie. Kind of bank on the UEF ones to do better. And there we go, that is the T3 artillery joining in. So sitting there with the deceiver, and unless Webb actually scouts it, he's going to have no idea it's there, and his RT is not going to shoot at it, and it's just going to pop in that extra damage on that forward position. That shield goes down. Things could go bad. Means the entire place can be opened up, but having said that, Strife's navy has been shooed away by this much larger... I don't know if it's a large force actually. He's got a fair amount of boats, but he's got no destroyers, which are part of the primary units for packing a punch. No, he doesn't, so he's going to have to be careful on that. And up here we see these guys are coming in. The Artie probably got spotted by some of this navy and probably killed by a destroyer. We have a brick patrolling the beachfront. That's just going to get some hits on it, but the navy is going to fall back out a little bit. Some extra range. Alright, checking out Navy on the other side though, we have a push in from Black Skylane. He's going to take on the Navy from Boss, who has a solace from his air player helping out, and that's going to cause a huge amount of assistance. One pass, it's like 4,000 damage. That's not a small amount. And this thing has torpedo defense. Boom. 2 passes and it's gone, but it is locked into by the air from Vel, so no more solace. It dies just with the last shot. Flies down to blue, and we're ready for the reclaim. 1300 available. And this is a problem. You don't want Navy in your base. Having said that, these are all T1 factories, so kind of expendable, especially when you've got your T2 production up and running over here. You've got destroyers coming off, you've got cruisers coming off. Yeah, I think we will see a win out from Black on this actually. He's got more units, going to want to get some reinforcing stuff out of here pretty damn pronto. Got a few torpedo bombers floating around that could help out. The air wing is nowhere to be seen. And indeed, speaking of air and torpedo bombers, that's a coming in on the battle cruiser, which sorely needs to die for have to have any hope. Oh look, there's another one. But where's the air? Well, there it is from Red, so they have come up and they are going to clean up shop. That is a huge, but they did kill a battle cruiser. There it is, still slowly sinking. The guns effect still active. Going down to the bottom of the ocean. Next one comes in and it's just gonna start killing. This is mostly T1 and it is very good against T1s. Kills a frigate in about a single volley. As long as it keeps mobile, keeps turning and doesn't get swarmed by the destroyers, it should be okay. Cave reclaim sitting on there. Single torpedo bomb comes in from Strife, doesn't get a lot done before dying, and you see these Coopers just get absolutely minced. No health. That's it. Just die. Don't want to keep your battle cruisers sitting still, especially with those shots coming in. They do a lot of damage, and in fact that's not looking too healthy. Needs to beat a bit of a retreat to try and stay alive. Got some hover shields coming over to help protect, which is not good news for Strife. He has got a second battle cruiser over here, just chilling, doing nothing. He wants to get that into the fight sooner rather than later. and a third battle cruiser, so he's actually gone pretty heavy, and those are building up pretty darn fast. Have a shift from Have, well we don't, he's sticking with the T2 for now and just spamming out destroyers, but they come across battle cruisers that have shield boats with them. He's going to have a really bad mass scouting coming up from Vel, so has he got something planned or is he just scouting? No, I think he's just scouting to have a look. But we mentioned the Navy before, and yes indeed, Black Sky has ousted Boss from the water. Boss has no Navy left, he now has units on his doorstep as the HU goes down, and he really wants to maybe think about moving. Got back, built some T2 arty, and he might be able to keep his beach clean. Checking out the middle situation though, and that's not looking good for Prue either, with the Navy off these. No, that's not even a starboard bow, because that's the left, it's going to be port. That is raining down destruction on the space in the mid here, along with the T2RD from Webb. Those have cleaned house. No more T2RD over here, only a couple of unleveled T2 shields. They ain't going to last too much longer. Alright, mentioned battle cruisers are in attendance, and they are looking to kill anything that comes within range. Really, he's got 4 of them. If he throws a shield boat over those, they will be very, very difficult to stop unless we see a T3 shift from Have. Gonna start. Issues are going to just increase a little bit. Checking out over here, there is actually a T3 Navy shift from Webb instead. So he's wanting to jump into the water with battle cruisers himself, help even the odds. Looks like they are absolutely determined to claim this top pond. And fair enough. Speaking of T3, there is an upgrade from Black. I think that is just done. I don't see any T3 units in the water. This is all T2. Yes it is. And what has gone on here? Well, Boss is just standing there with his comm as Exodus fire rains on over. I do wonder if they primary the commander right now, they could probably kill him. But it looks like maybe his attention is elsewhere. Trying to throw up another shield. They already killed the power back here, and boom goes another point defense. So I don't think Black Sky is paying too much attention. Nope, they're just chilling out, not doing a heck of a lot, and I think that's a missed opportunity. I think it could have killed him, but now there's torpedo bombers over here. They are dropping torps for all they're worth. They're looking to try and clean up the Navy for Black to help out. There's some ASF coming in from back in the zone, but there's a rather large air wing right here, and if they come in, they won't last too much longer. Boss Life is doing his bestest to keep things alive. He needs to keep his power going, and it looks like he's just spamming up shields, buying time for these torpedo bombers to do their work. Okay, ASF are in from Black, ASF are static from Red. Air is sleeping. Well, air's sleeping both sides really. I mean, you are parked up against the beach of your opponent. It's a long way for air to fly. And looks like actually going for other air, which is not a bad move. Get the ASF out of the way first, catch them napping on the ground, and you will have a really good time. And that looks like it's going to be a solid win for Val, so that is air absolutely stomped. All the ASF are down for Red, so he's now free to clean up these, although he doesn't really need to worry. Shards are in the area, a few ASF of his own, and those ain't too much longer for this world. Checking out the top, and that is Webb actually coming in to the Navy in a huge way. He's got a T3 Air HQ with assistance popping out T2 bombers, so they will be coming out rather quickly. Then we have the battle cruisers are moving up. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of those now under shield, and they can carve up this force. Wait for the counter battle cruisers coming out from Webb. I think that would be pretty much the game here. Alright, sitting still though, taking some of that destroyer fire we're talking about and just chunk the health down. A bit of bombers flying over. Do we have cruisers? I'm sure we used to have cruisers. In fact, there's cruisers from Peru. So Peru has agreed to the staticness of the mid-game, not bothering with that, and has jumped into the Navy himself. Here's some T2 Navy, so he's coming out to help. They're not doing much help over there though. Move him over, assist with the killing, and that's a lot of torp bombers. So what's their target going to be? Probably another battlecruiser. In fact, here they go. Dropping the torps in, and just look at the health just shred. One pass and dies with the assistance of another battlecruiser over this way. Cruisers try to help thin out those torp bombers, but it's going to take some time, and there's more coming. Checking out the situation down here, and that's a battleship. The Black Star is now parked off the coast with a battleship. I do not know if full share is on. It usually is for a settings game. What was the button? I think it was... Somebody told me the button that would tell me. And that one. I know there was a button that would show if it was full share, but I'm not sure in your in-game or not. But I'm pretty sure full share is on. This is standard for that. And it looks like they're complaining to each other about something. Not sure what. I think they've got a reasonable hold on here. They've now got a battleship out from Have, so that's going to even the odds quite a lot. Going to ignore the shouting. Shield goes down, and that now leaves these guys quite vulnerable, and you don't really want to stack up. You've got incoming battleship fire, although that's not actually incoming at all. So no dramas. Over here though, that battleship is trying to do its best, but its best is not going to do much when you face off against a whole bank of T2RD. I think the Omen actually has the shortest range of any battleship in game. F12 you say? F12 it is. Team cheating share, blah 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 blah. Share conditions full share. It wasn't F10, it was F12. Bonza, thank you, Matt. I'll try and remember that. Okay, the two battleships here are parked up for Have, and they are just going to sit there and take it. They got a bit of a T2 buffer in front of them, and of course they outrange the battlecruisers, so they need to move in if they have a hope to do any damage. Standoff tactics are not going to work when you are against the long range of battleship cannons. You see here, Peru has actually been active with his navy. He's moving around, but they are getting swarmed and swatted by T2 of their own, and don't back off. Your battlecruisers can do a lot of damage if they get in range of these. Sitting back here, they're going to do nothing. And in comes another torpedo swarm. Is that enough to kill another battlecruiser? Well, the shields go down, torps are out, and I think we're going to see this guy die. Yep, there we go. Torps are down, torps are in, and the battlecruiser sinks. Air comes over to wipe those out a little bit too late. That's okay. Checking out down here, this battleship has gone for a wander. Looks like he's going to start popping the mass extractors down here, kill off some eco, have themselves a good time. Now then, if you're faced up against T2RD, since that outranges your battleship, if you're Aeon, what do? You got two options. You can either Tempest, or you can build a, looks like we have one, missile ship. It's very long range, very nasty. Two of them in fact. Okay, so he's coming into that game. And if we check up on the top, well, it looks like this navy is falling back. It is severely overmatched now. You want to stop building battlecruisers? Yep, there you go. Ships is now what you need. There, and some more shield boats. Yep. But you definitely don't need battleships to be battleships. Facing off against three of those, plus a pair of battlecruisers and shield boats. And you've got torpedo bombers in the skies. So this can be grounded. Hello. That is a lot of torpedo bombers with a fighter escort. So something is planned. Do they know? Do they know about Strife being in the water? No, they don't. So, Navy kill here. Please bombard. Battleship bombard, please. Make a weeb. So, this group coming in must have a different target. I don't know. They kind of look like they're going in the right direction. Have they found a commander? There's a ping out on there, so Team 2 has noticed. Here's the air scramble they're running in, and no, it looks like, oh dear, they're going for the HQ. That goes down, and that means Strife can no longer build T3 units. He's essentially crippled in the Navy. Until he can rebuild factory. There's another factory down. That was T2, I believe. But then we have another T3 factory under attack. That's not good. Strife is out of the Navy. This leaves for Team 2 in the water this T2 factory from Peru. I mean, he's got a few of them, but he's up against T3. And there's torpedo bombers all around. Factory is gone. Straight away starts building another one, and you're going to get the upgrade going. But Peru has finished an experimental, so that's what he's been doing all this time. Where is it? Experimental. Oh, there it is, back here. So built it back here, and it's monkey. So first experimental of the game on 33 minutes. Monkey Lord stomping out, and well, it's actually got very little opposition. Its biggest concern is actually going to be from Navy. Yeah, so even if it pushes up, it could get absolutely demolished by battleships, although there's only a couple. When I say a couple, I mean 5. Jesus, that's not looking good. Back over here, those torpedo bombers are still floating around, so every time he tries to build another factory, they just swoop past and wipe it all out again. In comes the air from Red. He's had to be careful by having to go with the torpedo bombers. He was risking losing his air. And speaking of experimentals, there it is. So that's a Fat Boy from Webb. So Monkey versus Fat Boy, well, he's going to have to do something. Torpedo bombers are finally going down, but Val is coming back with his air, so Red wants to be a little careful. Let's check the numbers. We have 125 from Red, so it's actually pretty even numbers at the moment. Not doing so badly, but this is a massive advantage. Absolutely massive. This is all the Navy Strife has left, and should this all push in, we could see Team 2 getting ousted from both waters, which is never a good thing. But your scouts going over, so Bell is well aware of basically everything. Sad. Well, that's cheeky. Drop some engineers, pop down some T1 PD. Going to kill everything around here. Put down T2 point defense as well. Hello. That's a nuke from Val, and where the heck is that going? It is going off to the left, so probably going for the side island. If this is all T3, it's often a good target. It's all T2 though, so he hasn't had a chance to upgrade that. Oh dear. That's right, kill more eco, make things worse. And his T3 units Navy units are steadily dwindling in the face of 6 battleships now. Shield bursts don't last long, and after those are down, nothing else will last much longer either. So yep, nuke is going to land over there. Have we had a tech shift over here? No, well, we're still working on T2. I take it back, we have had a tech shift, and that is now a battleship coming out for Peru. But it's going to be one against a bunch, and has finished an experimental. That's a Tempest. It just goes from bad to worse. Navy, Tempest. That is just not so good. They've got some harms in the water. Oh, I've got them. Yeah, there we go. There's another one. But the amount of torpedo bombers that this team have been flipping out. Don't know. They haven't seen that. I don't actually see no torpedo bombers in the air right now. And there's a lot of battleships to ground fire things. Oh, there's the torps. Just watching these poor battle cruisers trying to compete at range with battleships does not work. They will die. Factories will die. Engineers will die. This is the bad times. Val says nuke. Take care. I missed the ping. Oh, it's not from Prue. Not from Red. No, I'm pretty sure Strife doesn't have the eco. Oh no, there's... Claiming it? No, he decides that maybe a nuke isn't a good idea right now. Excuse me. Yeah, just reclaims that back, but something's building it. This one single T3 engineer. Starting laser. I'm going to presume that's defensive. Because they're not up to any kind of struggle right now. Laser done in 6 seconds. Wow, has he got the build power and the eco to push through that fast? And Hav is actually calling care for telling laser, so yeah. Team 1 up the top here probably needs to be a little more cautious about that. We have the fat boy here has made it in range of the front base and is lobbing out all the shells right now. Yeah, Soothsayer's in range, so they know it's there. The monkey could very well push out and catch that fat boy if he's not paying attention. Stealth it up. I don't think they know the monkey's there. No, not really. So the monkey could stealth up and go kill the fat boy. Checking out up here though, the Navy situation. Wow. There is one battleship having to go against 6 shielded battleships. There were some harms in the area. I remember seeing them. There's one. There's another dead one, which is now being reclaimed. And a cruiser. Poor hapless cruiser gets stuck in the middle of it all. It's not good. Watch the health vanish. This poor guy. And Hav actually finishes another experimental, so that's a second Tempest, so that's not great news. Owns the water, he can actually stop building units. Wanted to, because now is firmly entrenched in the middle of this little bay and is now starting to smash over Strife's base. Power's going down, eco's going down. There is a quantum gateway, but that's not going to last for much longer once these things get in range. Yeah, that is Strife having some problems. That's Paragon. So Team 2 have decided they need to do something drastic, and their choice of drastic is a Paragon. Right, 1500. It's 30% done of the item. We're hearing a lot of fire going on here, and there's the torp bombers coming in for another pass. I don't really know why you'd bother. Just look at all this dying. That's no, it's support commander, but if he can grab some reclaim, he can do that. NG can't escape. I don't know what he's talking about. Up here though, T1 bombers are starting to just have a go at the Fat Boy. We've got a few bricks pushing up on it, but they're not going to get a heck of a lot done. You really want to push up with the monkey. Although, having said that, I've got a swarm of T2RD over here, which is possibly focused. Yeah, it's focused on the Navy. And the Navy is focused on shooting the ground. The lay of the cliff just happens to be enough to stop these shells coming over, which is probably just as well for Team 2. That was a support commander dying over there. Don't need to worry about that. And torpedo bombers, yeah, going for a com. I think they must be going for a commander. Not going to get it though. I don't even think that was enough torpedo bombers to kill the commander. Yeah, they tried. How's that Paragon bomb? 2000, so it's 40% of the way there. Let's have a check. Is there any kind of game ender aside from the nuke that we know about coming out? Not really. Nothing here, nothing here. Do they know of its existence? Oh yes they do. So it's been marked. They know it's there, and I just accidentally clicked on that. Don't want to slow things down, just going fine as it is. Fat Boy is pushing up kind of low on the shields. Now would be an ideal time to push out with the Monkey. Monkey's running away while the Fat Boy advances. Doesn't seem like the right choice. Off you go. Forward, noble steed. The Fat Boy. Well within range to rush it. Shields are just about gone. There are some engineers floating around. Fat Boy's not even firing at the Monkey because I can't see it. Busy having to go at the T3 HQ. Now there's a Monkey. Now it's time to run. Go Monkey go. Kill a Fat Boy. Just about within laser range, and then the Fat Boy shall be dead. Why are you stopping? No, don't stop. I should still die. There we go. All good. Right, nuke is out from... There we go. So there was a nuke that I completely missed. And where's that going for? Well, it's going for this Navy. That'd be a good collect actually. Putting off a bunch of those, but it's flying on past. So the Monkey has died, gone down to, well, all of that, I'd imagine. Nuke is going up for red. I imagine he's going to have missile defense around somewhere, right? Yep, there it is. There we go. So easily loaded, 50% towards the next one. I think he should be fine. There's not a second one in the clip. No, there's not. So no dramas on that front. Single transport is the unlucky... I was going to say got the unlucky attention of all these ASCF, but he actually gets away. So, the lucky transport. T1 bombers coming over there. Don't want to leave this around. Engineers stray out of the shield a little bit too much, and they're going to get picked up by the bombers. Strat's going to finish the job. So no more building from there, but that's not really the problem. This kind of thing is the problem.
Strategic launch detected.
I hear a nuke. And it's from Vel. Well, where's that going? Coming down the middle. Oh, I saw the ping there, so it's going for here. Well, the SMD is dead from Peru. Is there another one? Crab. Paragon is over half done. SMD going up. Here's one. And it's loaded. But is it in range? They could edge that. So, and this is another one I've missed. Comes nuke. And I don't think... No, it's gonna land. Oh no. Strife's comm was standing right there. He dies, so the nuke skirts this missile defense here. Strife dies. How's the Paragon? Well, it's still actually there.
Strategic launch detected.
I'm gonna guess it's not gonna be there for much longer. It's a nuke from a nuke sub. Okay, well that's going to within range of this here. Another anti-nuke in here somewhere. There is. Here we go. Anti-nuke is just about loaded. No, 75% of the way towards another. Another shield going up, trying to get some focus on that. Does he have another nuke in the clip? Well, yes he does actually, because there goes the next one. And actually he started his own Paragon with far more build power and more eco, so that's probably going to go up. Is that nuke going to the same spot? kind of looks like it. So probably going to hit the same spot again and maybe cause extra damage to the Paragon and kill it off. And just to make life that more annoying. That's a satellite. So we have a Tempest firing as far as it can. We have torrents over the side doing their best to wreck things. A satellite buzzing overhead and an inbound nuke. Yeah. I think we're going to see impact around the same way and some ground units. There's a bunch of Titans about to cause issues. Swarm of T1 bombers are going to get absolutely nothing done up there, and down goes the nuke. They're actually going to the same spot. A little bit closer this time. That's a lot of deadness. The Paragon is gone. Side defense still there though, and a bunch of support commanders, but we do have this overhead. But I think that is probably going to be it. Prue agrees. He control cases come up here. Bread joins the control K party. I don't even know where his comm was. Honestly, I don't disagree with him. Solid play by Team 1 at the top. Yeah. That's where Red was, and that leaves just little old boss by himself.
Strategic launch detected.
And that's a nuke out from the nuke subs. Where is that going? That's a laser upgrade. Why not? I've got the eco. Have some fun. This should get shot down by that. It's 444. Yeah, it is. So no nuke view.
Strategic launch detected.
Another nuke being launched. If it goes this way, then there's still more anti-nukes ready to stop it. How far along is that Paragon? Well, that chunked along very fast indeed. Lots of build power on that. The Titans tune up, but they tune up into a swarm of SACUs, they die. Still have the satellite bouncing around, just killing off eco as it goes. Laser is still ripping up, and we have some build power coming in to help finish that. And I do wonder if there's anybody he might be able to pick off. Well, let's have a look. Make a Web is defended by a bunch of T2PD. So we could come over here and kill a Paragon. I don't see a commander in there though. There is. So cloaked, stealthed. Got some point defense around him as well, so he should be fine. Starting work on a salvation. Totally unnecessary, but hey, you got the build power, why not? And he's given all his eco over to have because he's got the Paragon. Starting on Scathus as well because he can. Speaking of commanders, that's hello. We have in the water, surrounded by engineers. Well, you can't really telemaze into the water, can you? It's a bunch of scouts going out, so he's hunting, and yeah. Black is in the water of his own. He's got some torp launchers to defend against a tele-torp attempt. Plenty of anti-air, so he can't be sniped. Bell finishes. That was a very fast salvation. And again, he has got all this build power. Look at how fast that's going up. When you have unlimited eco, damn son. Another nuke from... Who's that going for? That is going here. I think, yeah, I just saw the attack ping right there, so I'm going to cause some good damage. Don't know if it's going to kill either of the Tempest. Let's just watch us land on this glorious clump of units. In comes a nuke. That is a lot of death. A lot of death. Because Tempest 1, 2, 3, 4 battleships, bunch of T2 units, and this thing got absolutely hammered. Not a lot left. Alright then. Yeah. Gone somewhere. And just as well he gone somewhere, because that was a nuke for the kill. Where is... He's up here. So, Commander is up here. Okay. What is his plan going to be? And holy moly, that's a lot of restorers. Well, he has got a whole lot of air. Salvation fire is now raining on the space, in particular probably the nuke. So having to see that T3 power is going down. Shields down. Shields. Nothing died. Only destruction of mechanical items. Technically, yes, okay, you're correct. None of these have living things inside them. But when I see this nuke here was a nuke to kill, it's because he was trying to kill the commander, which does have a person in them. Devastation, explosions, and a whole lot of torpedo bombers. So, has he actually scouted? No, he hasn't. Is sending them in over land. Maybe not the best idea. His air wing has gone first to try and clear the way. Might go over here for black sky, although he is absolutely surrounded by anti-air. If they came in through here, they could get the torpedoes off, enough torpedoes off before anything going on. And there's the air fight causing all the slow doors. That is torpedo bombers. Boss Life said yes. I'm not dumb. I mean, he says that, but they are kind of flying through a bunch of restorers which are anti-air, and they're being caught by ASFs. That was a distraction, so it wasn't a bad attempt, and it has actually scared this guy out of the water. He's like, oh dear, torpedo bombers, I had better get out. Strats. My word. And Africa going over here. If, and I say if, is he teleporting somewhere? Well, he is. Where's he going? Well, I don't think he's aware of Habscom being right there, or he would be going for that right now. Let's find out. He's going over for the Paragon. There he is. And he dies. Very short death. Right beside a whole ton of T1 PD, and all the support commanders just open up on him. And that is the end of Boss Life. So there we go. That is a solid win for Team 1 on settings. Just overall better performance again. Team 2 held out for a while. There was a bit of static in the middle, but once this navy crumbled over here, it went absolutely south. Boss Life was holding on to this area here, quite a bit of ND, had a bunch of T2ID taking out anything that came close, but there was a lot of torrents building up. Alrighty, so I have a couple of maybe not so sure games, but considering the one I wanted to cast is not working, maybe I'll have to do them. Chosen the wrong music track. Alrighty, so this game is a 5v5, and it is going to go down on a map known as Mad Sea. Good old Mad Sea. If you haven't played Mad Sea, it is this. Split on the diagonal, you have Team 1 up the top over here and Team 2 on the bottom left. So I sort my icons out. Right, normally it's a 6v6, so we actually have an empty slot here free for other people to take. And let's just have a look at the reclaim. Well, all the reclaims here on the middle island. There is, go to there, 12,000 reclaim approximately, just sitting on this beach ready to be picked up. So it is in your interest to get over there as quickly as possible, whether it's sending an engineer over, whether it's building a transport, whatever your method of going, go and get it. Also, there happens to be some Titans sitting around, and these are either capture them or reclaim them, entirely up to you, but they are there. So have at. Right then, Team 1 up the top, in what is considered the land position, because you need to push land around the side, around this corner, we have Frau Kinderriegel. Frau Kinderriegel. And I believe that's the German word for woman, so she is pink and going Cybran. Here in the first Navy position we have Rigamate. It's also Cybran in yellow. Down on the other Navy position we have Wolverine W, and he's Burgundy Aeon, that's opening first air. Looks like he's going to go for a drop behind him in a Navy or air position. It is Vogan Yelts, don't know what, but he is UEF in combat green. And finally up the back in what is just definitely the air position, it is Der Kinderriegel. Going to guess is some kind of friend or relative of Frau Kinderriegel. It's also pink, and he has gone Seraphim. Alrighty, and opposing them today we have in the land position, it is Arab. He is a Cyan UEF ready to go. In the Navy position beside him we have Spitz. On the other Navy position we have Varastor. He's red Cybran, sorry I forgot to say, he's orange Cybran. Got so hung up on his name. In the rear naval or air position we have Peter. It's not green, a UEF. And finally, up the back in pure white, we have Der Falter. Aeon opened up first air and get some more power. Alright, so have a look at the first moves, and there are people going for the spare mass extractors over here. A little bit of reclaim to be had around there, not a huge amount, but just a bit to help kickstart your economy. But again, so we see, there we go, a transport out from Spitz, and he is instantly loading up with some engineers, and I'm pretty sure that is a, there it goes, a move wood over here. Drop those off, chuck down a factory, grab some reclaim, have some fun. Do we have a counter drop coming while the transport is still a building from Rigamate, we'll call him Rigo. Time. And he's going to get transport out, pick up some engineers and try to do the same thing, but he's well behind. Get out over here. Well, that was a drop from Wolverine. Looks like he wanted to go for this island here. Unfortunately, this particular island is defended. It's only T1, but there's enough coverage that you're not going to get much done with it. Managed to drop into a spot and might have been able to get up a factory. I think there's maybe a gap between his T1 PD, but probably not. So that's the boss there. And there's also this little island on the bottom corner which has some rocks for reclaim, a few mass extractors, but more importantly has these causeways, I'm sure I said that right, around the edge of the map that you can send the units on a merry happy jaunt. You can get all the way over here, and if you get something with range, you can have a go. Base. But that's totally optional. Don't have to do that. And we do have the same on the other edge of the map. We have an entry up there, and you can wander units a couple of pathways up all the way around. Another ramp over here, but all the way around spots. So yeah. Alright, checking out the middle though, because this is where the action is going to be. We have a few factories up here for Spitz already. We have 4 planned out for Rygo. Whether he's going to get those or not is anybody's guess. 5 planned out for Spitz, so he really wants to get a handle on that, but Yeah, Engineer is out for a bit of reclaim from Rygo. Does he have any idea that we should do, because he scouted it just a moment ago, and in fact there goes a scout again to say hello. There's a ping for something, and pings for there. Because Wolverine says, what about down here? And yeah, ping he should, because his drops already. Scout going out from Diginder is going to find some info out, and this engineer died to Medusa. So Medusas are rolling out from space. He wants to kill stuff, and if he sends them over this way, does he have any idea the factories are there? Well, no, he doesn't. Decides he's going to claim, with this little thing here, this area of the map as well, which is done okay. Right, Medusa is rolling out. It's going to run into a Mantis and have a very bad time. And is going to survive there. Going to survive long enough from just scout that there are factories there. So Rygo wants to get production up and running real quick smart. He's up against 5 factories to his 4. So just going to come in and needs to push and stop this kind of thing happening. Stop the reclaim, although nothing's been reclaimed at the moment. Now surprisingly, the first Navy, this team, down here, from Varasdor, a couple of T1 factories, and off he goes. The First Navy is usually from these guys who are competing for the island, and see we have it here from Rygo, so he's got in there, thrown out a sub. If he sends that right the way over, he could potentially deny Navy for Spets. Not be a good thing. But let's have a look at the top here, in the middle. On the ground war, we have a few units out here from Frau Regal. Frau Regal, I'm going to just skip all that. And in actuality, we have a fight in the middle first, and that is well going the way of Spets because he has far more units. So Rygo wants to drop these back, consolidate his forces into one blob, and try and assist. I hear bombers. There we go. This bomber over here having to go at a factory. Probably wants to kill the engineer first and then go for the rest of that. But he needs to drop back, get a good set of forces going, but he's going up against more production and more factories, so definitely laying claim to that. Alright, we have the first bits of battle going on up here, and we see Mantis versus Strikers. Mantis have the much larger force. That'll be good. So up here we have, that is the beginning of a capture order, I believe. So this engineer is trying to capture the Titan. It's going to take some time, but it's still going to be a fairly quick T3 unit comparatively, compared to trying to upgrade a factory T2, then upgrade to T3, then build something. So it could very well help out with cleaning up the T1 units from the other side. Okie dokie. That's enough stirring of that. Don't have a capture order on this one over here yet, so it could be one-sided as well, and that's a good number of units to hold that section. Have got a couple of factories up the front though, and they're going to help push out some reinforcements. Got some more factories going down here to do the same thing. Alright, checking out in the middle. So that is a overwhelming number of forces from Spets, and a overwhelming amount of factories. He has more coming up from Rygo as well, so he does want to contest for it. And he has got a frigate up here to stop engineers coming out to grab this. Frigate needs to be a little bit careful. If it hugs the coastline, Medusas can take it down pretty well. And we're still seeing that Spets is not in the Navy game. Looks like he's just focusing on eco and this ground force for the moment. Barristore, do we have? No, still just the T1 factories. No upgrades at this stage. Frigate has wandered around the edge and has picked off a mass extractor, because why not? But over here, it looks like a fairly decent win for Spets if he can get in and kill this point defense, especially because that will absolutely carve up the units coming in. So as soon as Rygo runs out of units, that will get focused down. There we go. All's doing not much in the way of a job. Down it goes, and that leaves all these free to just simply roll in and clean up shop, which they're probably doing. Do we have a number of bombers out from Rogo, so they might wander up here and start killing things? Engineers came out and spammed up a torpedo launcher, but that is leaving a single frigate taking them on, though a sub is coming in from the other direction. Should bring these guys back to help out. Checking out up the top, well, how's that capture going? Well, it's half done. And no capture started on this one yet. There are a few units in the area. Quite a few units. Alright, checking out down here, and that is firmly in the hands of Team 2. Both Peter and Varustor have chucked down some factories that popped out some units. I don't know why. Maybe just to defend, just do a hold in case something else drops, but they have the mixers. We mentioned this battle going on here, and well, units have surrounded everything and they are starting to destroy off the factories. There's no engineers left to build more. I think this is going to be an oust by Spats. Factories of Rygo, because there are Medusas in the mix, so that's going to do extra damage. Down to 4 factories. Not too many units. I don't think we'll see those go much longer because of course these are all still here. Either way, the torpedo launcher did go down, engineers are all dead. That was the Navy game. Well, Spets has jumped in and he's going straight for T2. None of the silly Tier 1 Navy stuff. And on the flip side we have T2 started here. Rygo as well. You know, at the mid-wall, things have ended up a little bit static on this front. Almost have that Titan. It is almost captured. Any Navy tech for Varustor? Well, no, not really. He's still just popping out some T1 units. And there we have it. 2 factories left. Bomber coming overhead to help wipe out the forces. Bombers a while ago, and this little wee choke point would have been great. Last factory, and it goes down. So Rygo has been officially ousted from the middle island. Getting some work done does get carved out of the sky by a bunch of sky slammers. Alright, Navy is up and running for Wolverine. He's got the... Now we haven't actually spoken about the air players very recently. Let's just double check where they're at. Alright, that is Tech 3 from Defaulter. It's a T3 spy plane, so he's got one T3 reactor, he's got a T3 HQ. So looking okay if we have a look up this way, and a very similar situation. We have a single T3 factory and a single T3 generator. It's got a second T3 factory going up, but you're going to want more power if we start doing too many of those. Which leaves us with the fight up here, and hello Titan! You really want to turn that shield on. Titan, a lot of Titan's health comes from the shield, and the shield regeneration is pretty darn good. So you really want to turn that shield on. Yes, it uses energy, but it just supplements their health so very well. But having said that, it does carve up units, except when a whole bunch of T1 artillery lands on its head. Keep Titans mobile. They are much better when they're mobile. And with the shield on. And we have another capture order over here, so this Titan is going to be picked up by Arab very shortly. And if you take into account that this Titan is not using its shields, that could be a wee bit of a mismatch if Arab has the knowledge to turn his one on. Over 14 kills for that Titan, doing pretty well for itself, just about good rank in veterancy. In fact, so close. There we go, there's the rank in vet, and now it starts on the region train. Right, Titan has been captured by Arab, and it is good to go. Also with that shields though, this Titan is now up to 16 kills. Still getting pummeled by T1 artillery. Oh lordy. Turn those shields on, which, you have a look at that. Arab has done so. So this Titan with shields is going to be much tougher than this one. And in fact is probably going to dominate it very quickly due to the lack of hit points. 20 kill Titan goes down. And this guy is now going to hold the line. Alrighty, just check out the Navy situation. Well, that is a stealth ship. good unit, just not on its own. Oh, there's a destroyer coming. I hear. Right here. I heard shooting. Kind of shooting, but I heard shooting. Oh, may have been shooting over here because all this is gone. Might have been some, there we go, Spectres. I thought it was Spectres I heard. So they have come in, they have cleaned out the section here for a drop. So Wolverine is really wanting to claim this little particular bit of island, and he has succeeded. This is a problem. Titan is the vanguard of a T1 press. Going to cause issues, and that's curious. These have been handed over to Spets, who is upgrading them. Maybe because he has the eco to do so, so he's going to claim that over. Helping out his front player Arab. Going to guess he's going to give those back. Anyway, up here, there's a Viper. So, looks like Frau has made the transition to T2, has an engineer up front throwing down a radar system which will help the Viper get some range in. Absolutely. Scout goes forward, probably dies. Don't really want to be doing that too much. We have a tech launcher. Not sure how much that is going to get done. Maybe it's for these buildings down here. Let's see the range on that. Lost it. There it is. And select the unit. Person, that's right. Yeah, there we go. That's fairly decent range. It's going to be able to kill all of that tech launcher if it gets completed and if it starts firing. In the meantime, it has to deal with all this, which, let's see, well, there is some radar, probably just from the scout. You want to get some extra radar there to see what's going on. Engineers up here would do exactly that. Pop a radar up on the ridge and you'll be able to see a good amount. Checking out down on the Navy game though, we have a bunch of T2 subs out from Spets. And those will clean up that. Get a bit more build power over here for Rygo. Just in the Navy game at the moment. And speaking of other navies, we see here that Rygo tried to get a drop over here and pick up another factory, but it has been spotted. That will get murdered. And in fact, some Navy is pushing up through here, is going to run straight into a whole swarm of submarines. And if they get themselves into a better formation, they could start absolutely destroying all of this, especially if they pick out the subs first, because, well, there is a cruise destroyer. But the destroyer sitting back here, and in the meantime, these subs are going to have a field day if they can destroy all these. So I think they have larger numbers, especially with the reinforcements coming in. And the other navy, speaking of, this is all running away as you should, because you are 3 versus 8, 3 versus 7, and you're going to have a bad time. Okay, as predicted, those got handed back after the upgrade was finished. And in fact, looks like the same thing is going on up here. So these guys must be on voice comms, because I've heard nothing. Been no chat, been no pings. They have just been handed over, so that's expected. We have a large build-up of forces here and a large build-up of forces here, so it feels like a Cold War. Got two sides facing off against each other. Nothing happening, although the tech launcher is going to give some range options to Frau. Checking out down here, that destroyer has come up and is looking to kill that factory to reduce the presence on that little island, but the destroyer has been picked up by all these subs, and I don't think it's going to be too long for this world. Can it kill the engineers? It kills the engineers. Oof. Nope, but they remain and instantly rebuild their factory. So close, so far. They've got a couple of cruisers up the back here. If they were anything, or if they were UEF or Seraphim cruisers, they could start lobbing missiles over, and that would deny that quite handily. Right, checking out though, we finally have a bit of a push going on up here. That Titan is ready to rock. Has to be a little careful. T2 units will cause it a chunk of damage, and you just see the health shred off that thing as it rolls in. It is a good distraction though, allows the rest of these units to get in close and start doing some damage. Though I don't know if that's enough. it's all T1. There's a good amount of T2 in this mix. Got some rhinos there was a rocket bot there that just died. And Tank Launcher is launching for something, so wanted to get a missile out before it kicks the bucket. Got some units over here dropping arty shells over the ridge. You want to pull them back so the direct fire units can work over. Here's the launch. I know it, there it goes. What are we going for? Looks like it's going up here. Looks like it's going to go kill the radar. And not a bad shout, but the mixers could do better. Aim was a bit off. Manages to kill the radar anyway, but the engineers survive and they can rebuild. But it has gone down. T180 from over the sides, perhaps? Don't know. But these are superior numbers swarming through now. All the T2 is dead. Just about. It's the last rhino. In fact, there's T2 on the other side as well. We have Riptides. So that looks like a solid win for Arab. At this force here and is ready to push on through. Let's check out the map on the rest of the side of things. Well, here we have Spets. This T2 Navy is doing absolute wonders against Rigo's Navy. Nice and static, here it is, just sitting there waiting to be shot. See a little force there, and we have naval expansion. Now down here, still just T2 Navy for Varastor, but he is plugging this gap with enough of it to another side really wants to move forward. We have a counter drop actually. Coming onto the ridge, throwing down some point defense first up because he knows this is here. Like some PD, some shields, and T2 artillery. How far is that going to reach? Just have a check. Not quite enough. It's that one there. It's the T2 RD, and it is going to reach all the way. So it'll be able to kill that factory. Right. Speaking of factories, factory going up is T3 engine. Those are Sparkies. Good on them. Sparkies, so much fun. Underutilized, probably because they cost a lot more to build. Anyway, we mentioned the push up here by Arab, and he is carrying on. That's a mongoose. So he's got a large chunk of T1 with T2 mixed in. Factories are spamming. Look at them go. What do we have in comparison? Well, we have trying to get built. Well, Brow, you need to get something going for this. That's a lot of Cerberus turrets. Yeah. Might work. Mostly T1, so Cerberus spam could work. There is some T2 thrown in, which could cause issues. And in particular, if they have missile launches. I think I saw one. Yeah. So some of those could be problematic though. They'll outrange the turrets easily and just slowly pick them off. Let's have a look. Let's have gone a bit quiet. Let us check on one of the game. T3 everything, but he's not T3 mass extractors. Not much with it. Back on the air player though, and looks like default here is focusing on his power grid. He's got plenty of power, got a few factories, and he's got that. Let's have an air check. And 50 ACS for default here. Sorry, there's an element. A lot more air factories. 75, so he's got 50% more. 50% more ASF than his opponent. Looks like the Navy, the better amount of T2 because of the frigates. Possibly. How many destroyers we got? 1, 2, 3. 3 destroyers. Bunch of cruisers though, and some subs. Might actually back this group to win this if they go to fight. However, there are a few torpedo bombers floating around ready to pop on some extra damage, so Spets needs to be a little careful. And Ooh dear. There's that push. Are there enough Cerberus turrets to make them think again and turn around? Well, there's some units in the area as well. If they move in front of the turrets, they can provide a bit of a buffer. Let the turrets do their thing. Does he actually have any radar? No. So no radar is even worse. Limits what the Cerberus turrets can see and shoot at. Yeah, Ghana wants some radar. Like, pronto. That's not looking good. Might see a bit of an overrun here. We've got a ping of some kind. I don't know what he's pinging. Doesn't matter, all interesting. Okay. This was enough to make Arab fall back, so he got concerned with the number of turrets and he has fallen back. I thought he had a clear advantage. I thought he could have rolled that. Just let the units keep on going past and cause a whole lot of damage. But nope, he's decided otherwise. Okay. Then again, if you have a look at the number of units that are coming, that is a lot of force to build up with, and that is T3. So he's got Titans of his own, ready to join in the fray. And checking out on the rest of it though, we have Mongoose playing with some Auroras. As long as if he moves back a little bit and keeps his range, he'd do better. Or he could just kill the spirits that were given radar. And then there's fire, and there goes that T2 item we mentioned, dropping shells right on over. So even if the Mongoose dies, that T2 RT is going to gradually, slowly pick off the rest of it. And in fact, there's another 5-6 Mongoose. I don't think you need that many. Alrighty, indeed looks like Spitz has dropped back with his navy. Is there some reason he's doing so? Well, he's got a bunch of T2 production on the go here. 5-6 T2 factories ready to go. He's got 5 T1 and he's got a, looks like, yep, UEF navy. So he's popping out some extra bull power on that. He wants to get T2 and you're probably going to see shield boats and cruisers come out of there. While we see destroyers and maybe a couple of stealth boats come out of these. Because that is a good mix. Alright. Yep, I think this is going to belong to Peter. Unless he runs into the trouble of... Yeah, there we go. Destroyers. Lobbing those shots over the edge. Anytime it connects to a Mongoose, it has a really bad day. Splat. Bugs come in. Down, 2 left, 1 left. Will it kill the factory first? Still moving. It looks like the RT finished off the factory anyway. So 1 little Mongoose left. Park up, say job done, and get blatted. Alright, here's the other AV action of the map. We have... I think I'm back in Spitz for this one. There's a lot more T2 in his mix. And Rygo is rapidly running out of destroyers. And with these cruisers back here for extra DPS, so the Cybern cruisers put out a lot of damage. Don't have as much health. They don't have any attack launchers, but they have a decent amount of range and can put out a fair amount of damage to help things along the way. And more down, we get down to 4 cruisers, and come some torp bombers though. Those are going to help even the numbers, perhaps, depends where they drop their torpedoes. Don't think they dropped them in a useful spot. Trying to go for the destroyers. Might be better off going for the cruisers, but actually it looks like the cruisers got primary down, which is all well and good, and actually helps Rogo's cause. So what looked like was going to be a win for Spitz kind of feels like a draw. But 3 destroyers left for him. We have 2 left for Rogo. We have air coming over from Defaultier, and they're going to clean up the... But he's got to be careful. A lot of air coming in from Der Kinder Regal, and here's an air fight with support from Vogon. So this is absolute slaughter. And I think that is going to be all the air gone. Yes, it is. No supporting wings coming in and no support from his teammates. So what? Not sure why he's building another land factory. Landing drops. Should be building air. Anyway, yeah, he could be thinking about drops actually, because there's a drop. Grabbing the eco off the ridge here, he's building T2 mass extractors straight off the bat, so he's banking on being able to keep those for a while. And over here we see that Spets had dropped back, but the water is controlled by Rago, who's got engineers over here on the reclaim mission. So, yes, scooping up what he can, and then plans to come over here and grab its part of 20,000 reclaim. I don't know who's going to be able to with the amount of navy in the area though. Checking out the top, and that's a sizable force. What's Europe got there? He's got a bunch of Titans, got some pillars, got some mobile missile launchers, a huge amount of T1. He's going up against... Well, if you throw in all the Cerberus turrets and all the T1 spam and a bit of T2 as well, I think it'd be a close thing. You got the mobile missile launchers in first to deal some range damage, maybe take out a few turrets to thin the numbers. Seen this put. Never mind, he's got more. Got a lot more, so Arab has been building up forces after forces. He's even got some Janus sitting back here. If he sent those in at the same time, that would be just the icing on the cake. With T3 factory, he's building Janus. Not even going to start there. Okay, but if he takes those, sends them up, bombs ahoy, fact is that the push coming in is your units are not very cohesive, they're going to be coming in bit by bit. We do have radar this time, so they see it coming, and look how long it takes for those Cerberus turrets to claw through those Titans. If he had all these units in at the same time, instead of in by dribbles, that would have been far more effective. And it looks like they're getting caught up here, instead of rolling on in. What is going on? Just move in. Go. And now we have some Vulthus. So Vulthus joining the party, help thin out the numbers. That is well, not a bad tactic. Going to just patrol that area and kill units as they come, but there is anti-air in the mix, so they are going to be swatted out of the sky, especially if there's flak. I'm not seeing flak at the moment. It probably is. There's just too many units to try and calculate a route. But I think the Vulthus might have been the difference here. They have just helped thin the numbers a bit. And as Frau throws a bunch of their units in front of the PD to soak up some of the damage, they can carry on tickling things down, and this will turn the tide completely. As Percival's, they are going to be able to shore any potential breaks from these forces. I think this is going to be a stable hold for Team 1. Let's have a look down here at the Navy, and we have what looks like a rather ill-advised push from Rago. Try and get some units in under the shield boast to do some extra damage, but that does not succeed. The shields collapse due to taking so much protection hits. And now the torpedo bombers come in to kill some more stuff. There are some crews. There's one cruiser in the mix. So get a couple of kills amongst themselves, but they're going to die otherwise. Possibly not worth checking out here, and actually has his own T3 air factory. That's a whole line of T1 power leading to a massive grid. It's all there ready to go. Not building anything. Seems like a waste. Check things out. Do we see... Oh, we did have a T3 ship, so that is a battleship being rolled out from the UEF factory. Looks like it was a mass scout just to try and find out what the heck was going on. We still have these two navies posturing against each other, just saying hello. All the mass extractors in the middle have been taken down. Thanks to, I would say, probably the destroyers. And over here we have a small little position with a radar, just to get a bit of intel. Done. Alright, it's 30 minutes in and we have a good amount of eco going on. And yep, there we go, that was a hold, and even with the pushback now with the Percies, they're going to move on out, and that is probably where you want to stop pushing and get some eco, because you don't face up against Percies without your own, or bricks at least. Okay, what have we got planned up here? Well, we have a defense, we have a commander, we have some SAMs, some T2 and T1 PD, so looking very safe and secure under that shield. There's an air grid going on. We have eco over here that is a borrowed tech, so UEF. But they're doing a chat for some reason. Game resumed, we're good to go. Haven't heard much from old Mr. Vogon over here. There is a lot of everything planned. Experimental from Wolverine, so I think that's the first of the game. I'm just having a look at this. Curious setup. It's like a bunch of T1 PD and Wolverine's actually standing there in the middle of nowhere with his commander. Strange place, but that's alright. Going up, and a Tempest was completed. So nice little firebase you got here. Don't think it's going to last long. Let's check the air counts though. We are looking very lopsided. We have 116 for the only air player on Team 2. That's going to be a problem. Facing up against 200 and another 150, so he hasn't got enough air to fight one of these players, let alone both. Now seeing drops coming out from Regal. Maybe to the island to finish cleaning up all of this. I don't think they need to worry. The Tempest has got it. Just let it do its thing and all of this will die. But doesn't want to wait around. He's going to push out. Might lose some pieces to things like the battleship here and here. But it's going to be a bit rough. Tempest really wants to refocus onto the Navy. Shield goes down. A couple of Mongoose roll on out to bravely try to take on some Percivals, but they're not even going to make it because destroyers are going to have their say first. Shot from the Tempest coming out, waiting for that to lob away. There it goes, and he has changed up targets to the battleship. Even though it was under shields, they dropped, and so did the health. Pieces on the move, they will be fine. Alright, let's check out the rest of the map. Well, it's looking pretty quiet. Down the bottom is still chilling. We have Navy up here. It's just coming up. We have the first battleship rolling out from Spets. Do we have T3 in comparison? No, we don't. That is still T2 from Rago. T3 from Wolverine somewhere, because I've seen the battleship. There's one there. It's Cybran. A on T3 somewhere as well. There it is. But yeah. What do Percies do against ground units? They kill. However, that's a lot of Navy. It's a lot of firepower coming over. I don't know if they're actually going to finish the job. They have killed off all the build power though, so if Peter wants to get back on this cliff, he's going to want to drop it again. Percivals are dying slowly. The Tempest is around firing shots in. These might actually have some fun if they got to the edge of the cliff and started shooting downwards at the Navy. That's right. Tempest is firing over and it is getting work done. One shot, 4 kills. Thank you very much. We'll see you later. Brutal things at Tempest. Alright, checking out up here, there is a good set of units just holding the line, giving a bit of breathing space. So even if more T3 comes in, it is all Titans, along with some T1 and T2. There's a bunch of Janus flying overhead. I wonder what they're going for. Are going to run into a bunch of flak, so maybe not the best approach. But they're coming in and they're going for all the point defense. And they're all going for the same, or they spread out. Nope, they're spread out, and that is a whole lot of Cerberus turret deaths. Don't know if it was worth it, but it has happened. And if it wasn't for this force out here, they would be well, Dirkint Regal has finished an experiment on this in Wassa, because why not? If you own air, you might as well use it. Try and keep an eye on that for the interim. Yeah, Percy's go up and start picking off units and being the little annoying sniping things they are. Huge range, and Titans just melt. Absolutely melt. Check out the neighbour situation, and oh my word, how many torp bombers. Well, I'm guessing there were a lot more beforehand, but that was so many just cleaning up the navy. Then comes the air wings from Dekinder and Vogon, and even more torp bombers from Vogon. So yeah, that's going to be a problem. Looks like Spitz is trying to get into the air game as well. Well, he does have the build power and has got this all building up, so we are good to go. And still nothing happening back here. It looks like a prime spot for well, anything really. You could throw down like a Mabel or Scathus because he's Cybran. Got some nuke defense over there, so it should be okay if someone tries to come from the other side of the map. To have to be cagey with his air is old Mr. Defaultier, because there's just so much fun. And look at those torp bombers. Absolutely destroying. Another 60, and yep, the air wings there, but so is Dekinder. This does not look good. I think we're about to see another solid air win, which with an Owasso coming is exactly the last time you want to lose all the air you have. Lose all the air is exactly what is happening. There are a few restorers in the mix, but they're not going to get that a lot done. There's just too much to kill. Too much incoming damage, too much everything. That is bad news. The air's tied up here, and the Wasp is just gonna. Oh, I think it's. There we go. There's a bomb for this mostly exploded eco, some T2 shields, but nope. T2 shields do not stop Owasso bombs. Yeah, and that's the thing. ASFs will prioritise not ASF targets. Oh, that's a lot of damage. A bunch of SAM launchers over there. So if you've got bombers in the mix with ASF, your opponent's ASF will focus on the bombers first, which leave your ASF plenty of time to shoot them down. But the Owasso is quite healthy, quite happy, and has another target, I imagine. Peter's finished an experimental. What has Peter finished? Find out in a second. I'm just going to check out this Owasso and where it's going. Well, it's hanging right. Oh no. Oh no. All of that gone. And even Spitz Commander took a giant chunk of HP off of that. The Owasso will go down, but that was so much. So much eco. I mean, yeah, they've donated the wreck, but my word. That was a lot to lose. And they're out of the Navy game too. So Air has completed that. The Navy is out of there. There's a push going on up the top, but now that there's Percivals in the mix along with Loyalists, they're not going to get a lot done at all, especially going in bit by bit. Need to consolidate and need to get something a bit bigger. Maybe a Fat Boy would be a great addition here. It could drop down range on all of this with impunity, but that's Monkey. And it's almost done, and then we have another whole bunch planned, so... Alright, checking out now. There was an experimental, there it is. Well, it's in Atlantis. It is in a strange spot. It's a long way to go to get into any kind of battle, and Wolverine has completed another experimental. Tempest, and there's that Monkey finishing up that we talked about. Nuke launcher. It does have a missile loaded, so that could be used somewhere. Good effect. And check out this. We haven't spoken about Varustor much, but he has a massive navy of his own, which was plugged in this gap before, but has come over here to help out. Maybe doesn't want to move in like that, maybe wants to keep a decent formation and hold the gap and kill things. Peter is asking where should he nuke? Well, anywhere that's good. Anywhere that doesn't have SMD. Obviously SMD there, but it's not loaded. Second SMD also not loaded. A third one not loaded. Why is he putting so many SMD when he hasn't got any of them loaded? That's not... No SMD over this either, so he couldn't use that. SMD there, and that's loaded, so no point up there. What about up the top? There is not loaded though. Okay, so it's going to be a gamble. There's a couple of places he could go where there's no SMD, or he could gamble on some of these not being loaded and have a go and kill a base. He'll figure it out, I'm sure. And this Atlantis is above water. That's not what you want to do. I doubt it's building anything because it's moving. No, it's not. So you should be underwater. Alright, so this navy from Varustor has actually done alright for herself and has managed to shoo away all of this. So good job on there. Awasa is in attendance trying to help Navy, help kill things out. And no real point pinging it, my friend. There's not enough, well, there's enough air to kill it. But this is all in the process. There's so much extra floating around. Checking out up here though, that Monkey is just having a field day. There isn't really anything to stop it in this mix. Titans will not get the job done. Sounds like the Awasa is... Heard it. Oh, there it is. And it's been chased down by Spets. So Spets has picked his moment well. He's sending his air in. That Awasa is should die. I think that's enough ASF to do the job. Oh no. It's that close. Only needs a few more shots. It's going to get them. Just couldn't keep it alive. Arab is hiding in the corner. Hiding in the corner, or is he sulking? He's facing the wall. I think he's sulking. That's right, we'll leave him there. Base looking okay. He's got plenty of build power, got a lot of T3 air factories still producing out the Janus. I do not know why. You have T3 air, you have T3 power. Use it. This army is just struggling against all this. And was that another monkey? Yes, it is. That's monkey number 2. So now there are 2 monkeys completed for Frau. Yeah, I think of Mavor. I think of, not Mavor, sorry, a Fat Boy. What was I thinking of Mavor? I was thinking UEF Experimental. But we have a nuke out, and that is from Pisa. But he's actually got 2 missile launchers now. Maybe going for the nuclear war. If you can jump up a bunch of those and get enough missiles out, Is that going for was going this way? He could be going for Wolverine's base, because that's not loaded. Doesn't know that, but it's not loaded. HQs. Nope. He's going for that. Did he know it was there? Well, he did. Okay. So he wanted to get rid of that. That was plugging the gap. Maybe he wants to go through. But now if he did, that was the only harms I know of. Oh, it's another missile defense. Does Wolverine know that your missile defenses need to be loaded to be effective? How many has he got? Let's check this. Oh, he's built 4. Not one of them is loaded. Go figure. Anyway, check out back down here though. So looks like Defaultier has been working on his air. He now has 230 ASF, so that's a good solid amount, except when you compare it to your opponent who has 290 plus an assisting 260 teammate, so twice the air. So Spitz has jumped in. He's got 40 of his own, but really the person who should get into the air and help out, this guy, has got a Duke planned. I wonder what the range is on that. But it actually gets very far. Well, it won't get that far. So you could use it to demolish space. He could use it to pick off Brigamante's base. So I'll try to say that name. So he could, with that Duke, take out all this here. He's got to worry about where the nuke. There it is. Sorry, I knew I heard it. I couldn't spot it. So that's come from Igo. Going over this way. Oh no. I don't see SMD. Appears that Arab no SMD in his base, and this nuke is going to happily land. Destroy all of this. Pretty sure that number is to clear in a moment. No? Am I imagining things? Must have eco powered up somewhere else in. Oh no, he doesn't. It's reclaim. It's all reclaim. So he's actually got 44 income now. And he's got problems on his front. Got T3, good monkey. More T3 over there is furiously trying to complete a Fat Boy. But now that he has no eco, it is going to take forever. And that monkey's a bit close for comfort. I hear another nuke. Alrighty, this is a counter nuke from Peter, so that's the second one of the day. Popping out some SMD. Did he not have? I did have his own. I was going to say. I hear strats. Because they're dealing with this. Well, if they didn't notice, it might have been alright. It could have been quite the nasty little push. There's quite a lot of hover, but it's not going to get much done. Where is that nuke going? It's going up. So it's either going for this base here, which has a loaded nuke defense, or it could be going for the Navy, which if he's timed it right and it lands here, could kill a bunch of ships. I think the idea is to try and knock off the HQ. What's the deal? No, okay, down it goes. Looks like it's going to catch a few ships. Unfortunate timing. That is 3 battleships. 1, 2, 3, 4, and a bunch of factories. So, considering the range of the SMD, I think he's placed that, yeah, pretty good actually. Still, doesn't help much. Up here that we have an air fight going on because of I don't know why. Neighbor, okay, that'd be the Janus. I'm guessing that was the Janus from what was left of Erib's base, trying to take out a monkey, which in turn got absolutely smushed by these two air wings. Alright, stress and gunships are still going on over here. Looks like these hover units are not going to get a heck of a lot done. Maybe kill a couple of tier 1 factories. I think there were some others around. But yeah, more than enough air to take care of all those. And Fraken de Regal finishes a crab this time. That ain't a monkey, that's grab. Alright, checking out down here, we have 2 Tempests in the water floating around. Got a couple of battleships, got this as well, so that's a formidable navy. We have a poor SACU in the water. He's not going to be long for this world once all of this gets in range. But we do have navy down here from Varastor helping out. Don't outrange these though. This RA Warrior, he is building his own. I thought I saw, there it is, that is almost done. What happened to that Atlantis? Well, it's over here. It's like he just forgot about it. She hasn't even been building aircraft, so it has absolutely been forgot about, and we have a drop. Looking like they want to clean out this spot. There are some Ravagers, which should deal with all this pretty good, especially as the Titans are focusing on the factories. But having said that, if they focus down the Ravagers, they could do well for themselves. But now they're trying to kill the... yeah, so these aren't being managed right now. They're just sitting there ignoring things and doing their best, but focusing on the wrong thing. These guys are doing right, they've cleaned up here, so they'll be fine. That Tempest did get completed for Varastor. He's going to want to move that up to counter these ones. He's got shields, those ones don't. It could be the difference between those surviving or not. But this is possibly the main worry. I hear exploding? Oh yeah, I mentioned the SACU. Poor thing. Right, units are moving up. However, it's a solid line of stores coming over. They will be able to clean up this mess quite well. And if they get the focus onto the monkeys early enough, they could drop them out of this. 5-star monkey gets 67,500 HP. It's the same as a chicken, I think. I think a chicken's got 67.5, so that's one tough monkey. That's what we're saying. At the moment, the restorers are focusing on all the smaller units. You maybe don't want to do that, but right now we're at -5 because the air is over here having a huge fight. And there are some SAMs on the ground. Yes, there are. So there's a few of those floating around, which is going to help the cause somewhat. And Varastor is actually looking very hurt. I did hear a bunch of strap bombers. I think that might have been a sniper attempt. Don't see any more strats in the mix. And we are running really slowly. Look at all of that, just mayhem. Aircraft just falling out of the sky, left, right and centre. Varastor's still rocking around with his comm. Looks like he's safe enough. I don't see any more stress coming in, so he's going to live through that. Absolutely fine. And no, he's not. I think that was an actual Control K. I didn't see anything hit him. He was still in the yellow. Right. What was that? Oh, that was definitely Control K. Erib has handed over all the stuff to Spitz. Has Control K himself up here. The monkeys have, well, one of the monkeys has died. The second one is under fire. I wonder if that was a calculated Control K to kill the air. I have no idea, what I do know, I think for the first time, 138 ASF there. Another roll up here. 54 and 39, so indeed. So Team 2 actually has air at the moment. They have more aircraft in the sky. These restorers are quite hardy when it comes to air battles. And indeed, we've got Spitz with his ACF helping out with that small thing there. And I think this monkey is not long for this world at this rate. There's just too many. In fact, there's Sam's around as well, helping protect the restorers. So, nuke. Who's it this time? There we go. That is Artie Yolo. Ha! Great.
Strategic launch detected.
Wonder where that's going. And I do know it came up as Control K, the Armada, but sometimes it glitches and it says Control K when something actually has killed them. Anyway, the Yolo from Dekinda and a normal nuke from Raijo. A couple of nukes coming out from Peter. Looks like the Yolo is going on down. I mean, it doesn't happen very often, but yeah. Has he got the SMD for it? Well, he's got a couple in there. He'll be okay for now, but he's going to want more. Comes to a Yolo, who could use two of them to shoot it down now. Where has his two nukes gone? Well, they've gone up this way. And did that get... That's still not loaded. Wow. What's he nuking? Oh, he's nuking the main base. Well, this is going to go. So I think that was... Yeah, he lost a couple hundred eco out of that, but I think this is going to be the winning piece. A Yolo that I didn't even see happening because of all the fighting that was going on elsewhere. This one is going to a different spot. Victory kinda looks over this way. I think for this. Well, they've scouted the Mavor, so if he is, there's some trouble. I don't think there's any SMD in the way. There's no missiles in it. There's no SMD here. There's one. Gonna finish. It's not gonna do much though. Yep. And the Mavor completes. Just in time to receive a Yolo down the throat.
Strategic launch detected.
That was the play. It might have worked if the Yolo wasn't up. If they had some anti-nuke, wasn't scouted, they might have got away with it. But as it is, I think this is the slow death. From the Yolo. Right, I think this one was pointed to come back here, and we're going to see... Oh, there's two missiles and anti-nukes in that, so that won't get through. That'll be absolutely fine. Won't need more, though. Nope, just the one. Survive. For now. Honestly, up here is just satellite. You're alright. Another nuke launch. I mean, there's a lot of build power in that. Oh, and here were those little templates I saw. So that's a bunch of T1 PD and T1 AA. Well, it's a nice looking template, but ultimately it's pointless. Defaulter. Besides, I'm out. And I don't blame him. The Atlantis has been the most useless experiment to build this game. It has killed 8 units, probably air that accidentally flew too close to it. And that's it. Right, nuke has gone out from Peter, but we're going to see the yellow hit over here first, and that's going to be a lot of stuff die. Let's just salute all these dead things. All these things are dead. Now, what is it? Another, man, those are just coming out thick and fast, aren't they? Oh, the Atlantis gets into the fight. It killed something. And it died. So, yep. That's the end of the Atlantis. And now there's just Peter. Is that new going? And is it going to get shot down by an SMD? Well, these are still not loaded. Oh, that one is strayed just in range of that nuclear. I heard one get launched just now. There it is. So it's another one out from Rygo. So they're definitely trying to nuke this base pretty hard. He's got a bunch of SMD in there. So they'll survive for now. What's the assistance on that for? Looks like Billy Nuke. Yeah, I think that's Billy Nuke. Here it is. Yeah, Commander Nuking. Off we go. Watch that bad boy. Or not. Guess he's going to throw up some SAMs. Okay. Just a matter of time now. We have a Monkey Lord which has walked all the way from the other side of the map through the water to get risk going. There's a crab that was walking around but has changed its mind as well. Have all the air. That's just a... Nope, that's another yellow. Does he have the eco for it? Well, he's still got 4 antis in that, so he'll be okay. Another 2 in there. So he's got 6 anti-nukes, so he can survive 3 yellow strikes. And he's throwing some mess down into these though, worried about the Salem's walking across the land. So he's making a final stand of it. He's not just giving up, he is just having a go and making a stand. And thank you for the follow, Luna. Luna fast food. Fast food on the moon? Interesting, tell me more. And a bug. Just a matter of time now, so the question is, how much can you hold out for? And is that another Billy? Which gets shot down by TMD from all of these. That's unfortunate. I would like to have seen that land on the Tempest. I would like to see how much it did. But we have Navy popping around this way now. You know, he never actually finished his Duke. He had one planned and I still think that would have been the better idea. Another yellow? Another yellow. How many SMGs has he got left? Got 1. Okay, he's got 5 missiles there, so not doing so badly. But with no need to produce units, they can just spit out experimentals. There's a second satellite going on there. All assistance on the yellow, and just look at how fast that builds. That's ridiculous. Navy, however, has come around the back there, and never mind the monkey. Got some destroyers having to go, and these are closest to the strategic missile defences, which is why he needs to survive the yellows. Assistance going back on the commander. He wants to lob out another missile. Can he see the monkey? Oh yes he can. No he can't, because he's stalling on power. That's not a good time to stall on power.
Strategic launch detected.
Especially with battleships coming. Alright, what are we doing? Still got plenty of SMD. Oh, I can survive 1 more yellow, and that is just about loaded for a 4th one. But that's a regular nuke as well, so he's going to be 1 defense short with the next yellow that comes along. And if this pops, might be close enough to cause this to die as well, which would be terrible. And there goes Billy. That wants to cut himself off a few units there, and he does. Not doing so badly. Right, nuke is stopped. However, there's a satellite overhead now as well. So, yeah. Focusing down on the commander, he's been spotted, and he does not want to stall power. No shields are all that's keeping him alive at the moment, and comes the next yellow, which will get shot down. So, has put up a stubborn defense. It's nuclear Armageddon, however. Navy in the bay. The shield's dropping due to lack of power. As soon as he builds that Billy, all the power is used up. Shields go down. All these SMD disappear. Not that they had anything in them anyway. And there's not enough left in this final SMD to stop that YOLO. So this is a game. We have a bug coming in. We have two satellites overhead. We have Navy off the coast. And my oh my, stay under the shields. No, where are you going? The bug might actually die from all these SAMs. The bug does die. He survives. Look at that. Oh no, it's satellites. I think he's dead. And a Scathus. And Fulthus. And a yellow. And battleships. So yeah. Oh, well played to Team 1 on that front. There were some tough times. We had the middle was well held by Spets, and then we had a big push up here from Arab, which almost broke through the line. Could have gone those the other way very easily, but Team 1 persevered. They pushed through. They got a couple of critical wins at the right times, and that has led them to ultimate victory, including pyramidal spam. Good times. Can be a fun little map. Get yourselves on a 6v6 of that one. Let's have a look at what. So I'm actually out of casts. I did have another one, but this is the one that was not running despite me watching it the other day. It now tries to download something incredibly huge, so that has actually reduced my playbook for this evening. You have one for me, says Toponi. Oh really? Oh really? Well, I'll tell you what, you don't have to wait till the stream to tell me about it. I know I have a Discord. That's right. You can jump into Discord. I have a channel specifically for throwing down casts or replays that you might find that you think, that one's fun, you should cast that. And yeah, I will have a look at it. And if I agree that it's a good cast, I will cast it. But come on. You said you have one. Bring it up, I'll have a look and see if I agree. At the moment we are waiting on the pleasure of Toponi. Okay, let's pop that replay ID in. Okay. Sure, why not? You want to toot your own horn? You toot your own horn. You be proud. So in case you haven't guessed from that comment, this is actually a game that includes Mr. Toponi. And it is going on a 1v1 down on Forbidden Pass. We love Forbidden Pass. Okay, you have a 55 7-minute one. Well, look, go to the Discord, throw it in the channel, or have a look at it. I do long casts. You know, I've been going for nearly 3 hours now just casting stuff. I'm quite happy to do hour-long casts if they're interesting. But anyway, you got this one. So up the top here, this is the opponent you face up against. It is the entire population of DK. And he is blue, he is Aeon, he's opening first land. You're in a settings, you're after? No worries, the link is there, join anytime. The entire population of DK. What's DK? Denmark? Can't remember. But anyway, here is the pony down here, tooting his own horn, and he is UEF, and he's red, so this looks like a proper ladder match because their rankings are down to the single digit, which is different to team games, or custom games where they are rounded to the nearest 100. So very close, 10 points between the two. We should be looking at a pretty good matchup here. Okay, let's have a fix. So, we know Forbidden Pass, we have the water, a lot of resources to get into the Navy, and honestly, if you stop and think about it, if you have the resources to get a naval factory up and get it to T2, then you're pretty much won anyway. So, you know, I've had to think, I've had some thoughts about it. And I've, you know, watched a few replays on this map, and really the only time I've seen people get T2 Navy and actually win is when they're basically already well enough ahead that they can afford the eco. And then because they build Navy, it brings the balance of the game back even while that happens. So it looks like it helps, but in reality it doesn't, because they sink that eco into other things like a whole bunch of units or a T2 upgrade into a few mixes, you know, to get more eco rolling out. They can pull more on the land and they can push further, push harder, etc, yada yada. So I don't think Navy is worth it. Anyway, what we typically see is the base start to get built by the commander, engineers pop out, and the comm goes for a wander over here to claim out this base, which the pony's already doing. Commander as well on the walk. An engineer out here, which is probably going for this mass extractor, and we see a plan to get a section here with a factory as well. You will quite often see raiding units be sent out from your opponent, and they can often try to scoot straight down here, because if they can get here before the engineer, they can deny that, and if you are walking slow engineers to get there, it's going to take some time to grab another one. Let us make sure these are all tickety-boo. Anyway, so speaking of raiding units, that's what we've got over here. We have a striker pushing up, and it is going, well, stopping there. We may see it go further. I have to wait and see on that. But have a look at the builds. We have an engineer going for this mix. It's coming up here, and it's just doing all 4 extractors and a point defense, then building the factory. Compare that to Deponi's build, and he's actually got the engineer going over here, doing a mix, then the factory second of the mass extractors. And he's got quite a bit of march on his opponent for this expansion over here. The commander is just about out of the water, while his opponent has barely left the base, so get a bit of advantage going into that. But no, it looks like he's staying defensive for this striker, just wants to prevent these guys coming over by the look of it. That is fine. Okay. So first mix upgrade going, really? That's a 50% done T1 mix towards T2, just popping up some more power. Now the reason for this kind of information is bombers. If you get a bomber coming, if it kills any one of these, it's going to do much less damage to the ones on the diagonal than if they were directly beside each other. So less adjacency means less damage from adjacency explosions. See that being unpaused, so he's working on that already. Do we have any? And speaking of bombers, Directory blows. What was going for? Kind of looks like a beeline down here. Commander is here building stuff, so the bomber's not going to get a heck of a lot done on him. Might change his tack and go for this engineer here. If it stops that, it's going to stop the expansion, which will be a pain. Do we have any defending interceptors from Deponia? Well, we have one down here, but it has been locked onto 6 from this guy, and that is doomed. Instead, the bomber looks like it is going for the main base. We have a couple of exposed engineers here. If it dumps the bomb on, it's going to be a bad time. We do have, looks like an interceptor just about finished. Is it going to pop up at the right time? Well, bombs away. We're going to see a couple of engineer deaths, and this interceptor tags onto Deponi straight away, so some good air coverage from that. Bomber turns back. We have another interceptor on the build, but bombs away. Or damage. Wasn't quite enough though. And now we have 2 interceptors and 2 bombers floating overhead, so Deponi's got some problems in the air. Another interceptor pops out and immediately locked onto by an entire population of DK's inties, so down go the P-gens. Bombers continue to harass. Right, interceptor lands right beside a striker who has no worries about shooting it. He's not above taking that, and another interceptor out. Is he going to move forward? Because they are just flying away. Yes, he does. So all these interceptors are popping off and they're directly flying away when they need to be holding their position. Floating around. Do we have one AA over here, which is just as well? That's a lot of damage though. Is that the last bomber? Oh no, there's another one here. Coming over. It's looking good. And a transport. Oh dear. Oh dear. Those bombs have enough AoE to damage all of these P-gens. I did not realise their AoE was that good. But that was the last bomber. Now there's just interceptors floating around, landing and getting killed by a striker. This thing has a kill. That kill was an aircraft. Good on you, mate. Well done. Now we have a sortie of units over here coming in from the entire pop. I'll just call them Pop. Just shorten that name right down to Pop. So Pop is coming over with a bunch of units, and looks like he's going to try and put some pressure on this factory area here. But that's going to be spotted, and of course they are overall, so they're quite weak. Deponi, however, is firmly entrenched here, and there is a lot. Factories. There's 5 factories ready to spam out units. We have 4 planned up over here for Pop. What other kind of pushes do we have? Well, that is also a complete airlock over Deponi's factory. So what would be a really useful thing here would just be to roll out a couple of T1 AA. Just pop them over here and park them up, and they will just kill the interceptors. Because at the moment, whenever he fires out a single inter, he gets jumped on by, what's that, 6 of them. It might get a couple of shots off, but it's not going to succeed. And hello, bomber. Coming down here to be a nuisance, we have a couple of engineers on the move. They didn't finish the T1 PD because they want to get this. No, maybe. There's some AA, and they've already killed 1 bomber, but the timing. Here we go. Engineer has come out to finish off that point defense, which it has. These units have moved around to kill off the Auroras, which of course we know are weak. But, yeah, so good. Every time. And another bomb comes in. Is going for the Hydro. And then carries on, is looking to pick up all of those. Perhaps, no, swings back. Got another anti-air over here, but it's not close enough to help out on that front. So, well, Pop is winning in the air, but I think we'd say Deponi's winning on the ground. He's managed to stop this expansion over here. He has a good set of factories ready to go. And while he is losing this expansion, he's already claimed this one out from Pop. Checking up, there is a radar, there is a anti-air. Hydro goes down, so that's not doing great things for his power, but I think he's okay. Although he is in the negatives now and needs to start building some. Air factory is in strife. Trying to build interceptors out of it while getting bombed, and the bombs are dropping directly on the build platform, so every time they do, no progress. There we go. Reset to 0. Starts again. Reset to 0. Starts again. Really wants to get some ground AA. Has built himself another air factory over here to pop out some minties. As well, he needed to. And they're over here waiting for their chance to jump the bombers. There we go. That's one down. Oh, the anti-air turret. Help clean things out. Now the ground moves in, so Pony has to be a little worried about these units from Pop. He has got a good defending force over here, and of course remember they are stronger than Auroras. They get in close, Auroras die. On the flip side, we have Pony over this side pushing him with his own unit and his comm. He could stop to build that if he wanted. Only takes a moment with the commander. Even just reclaim it if he wanted. But these guys are pushing right up. And, you know, paper Auroras, they don't stand very well in a toe-to-toe fight. Kaising staying at range is what they excel at. Okay, checking out down here, we do have another point defense up. Anti-air turret, sorry, and a point defense planned. Bomber comes flying over, promptly gets swatted by the AA. Good times. Right, the factory lives. Keep an eye on over here because we mentioned air, and here's the bombers out from Pop trying to keep things under control, which they do. A couple of entities are here to help out. There's a gun upgrade going down on Pop's comm. It's the range upgrade, which is quite handy. And, you know, I mentioned Navy. I mentioned I didn't think it was that good. We shall see how it goes. Okay. Up here, the two forces are just waiting to have a go at each other. You stopped away. Oh, never mind. Carried on. I was a bit concerning at first, and he's not too concerned about losing this factory because he has another one here popping out into these. AA here, AA in the base. These bombers probably don't want to approach on that front. Alright, clamping up all the mass on here, building some mass extractors, all well and good. This section looks pretty healthy. Nice hold on that. Gun range upgrade is done. Do we see a speed upgrade to start killing faster? Or are we going to stick with the range? Uncertain. Right, some more entities coming up from Deponia. They are helping to clean the air a little bit. This is a sizable force ready to have a go. Got some AA in the mix, so any bombs that do come over are going to have a bad time. We'll get a bomb off, you know, kill some units. But this. That. I mean, in actuality, the frigates are probably a very good counter to the hover that Pop has. I mean, he's going to send over these Auroras over the water, which, of course, Deponia can't do anything about. But, yeah, here we go. Fight on down here. That is... Well, if it weren't for the fact that these were Auroras, I would have backed this force to win, but it is getting pincered by a large group of Deponia's tanks, and when they get in close, they win. And you have a look at that, and DK is falling back because he wants none of that. Over here, though, we have Deponia's walked up with his commander. He's going to have a go at some units as well. And doesn't look like he's going to upgrade a commander either, but he can cause some damage and push those back. Just thin out some numbers, and you can run away if he likes, and just regenerate some health. He's fine. Going to have to be cautious over here though, because DK is finishing the second gun upgrade on his commander, and that's going to be a nasty. Very nasty. Aeon Guncom. Longest range of any Guncom in the game. Needs radar to see, so we can actually shoot properly, but... Alright, bit of posturing from the two commanders here. They know each other are in the region, but they want to be careful. And that's a torpedo launcher. So Deponia says, I see your comm. Can you get out of the water, please? I doubt the word please was used, but that's the word that I used. Right, on the right hand side here, a bit of a push going up forward. Deponia wanted to get around, but has been blunted by force coming back. There is a point defense here as well to help out, and a force he has to be wary of. Got some bombs in the mix, throwing some bombs out, so a little bit of a taste of DK's own medicine, but otherwise not much is happening. Probably a little more posturing than anything else. Now going to move into the middle. Right, Commander is up and he is killing stuff willy-nilly. That torpedo launcher is done and is starting to say hi. DK's calm, so he... well, I mean, he could stand the water. It's only a T1 torpedo launcher, whereas Toponi is on the land and having to go at units. He's going to need to be careful, though he'll be able to get into the water easy enough as soon as DK is finished up there. Now, I'm not sure about this. Putting up multiple factories, could grab one of these T2 maybe? Cruiser would decimate this map. Alright, there we go. Toponi has encountered DK's comm. Easy enough to drop back into the water where he will be safe, because is there any tech to scare him out of it? No, there's not. So DK has stuck with T1 tech for now. Everything he's got is tier 1. There's no amphibious things with torpedoes, which Aeon don't even have, but more importantly there's no T2 air, so he can't throw torpedo bombers at him. He stays in the water, he's fine. Alright, but speaking of hover, that's an annoyance. All these units coming over looking like they want to try and destroy these factories. Frigates are around and they can take a fair punishment from Auroras. They can kill a bunch of them, but maybe not that many, eh? Well, it sounds like we've got a bit of a fight going on down here. The hydrocarbon was rebuilt only to be destroyed again by this force. So, I don't know, it's looking kind of even on the map side of things. And there's a good split bomb set from those guys. Torpedo launcher won't do much against hover, Toponi. Don't worry about using that. Just reclaim. Just reclaim. Right, bombers still floating around, frigates still in the mix, and we are down to one factory. It'll last a while, and with the bombers around and the frigate in the mix, it should be okay. But these guys are having to go at the factories up there, but there's now an anti-air in them. It has been built, so the bombers won't last too long. Alright, and that factory is going to go down. So all the eco into that, and what he's got to show for it is a frigate. Checking out down here, do we have... not a lot of upgrades going on. Still running T1 mass extractors there. We have got T2 over here. We want to name this game, and here's a bunch of units that have been caught. They've made a push through and done some damage, but then got routed. And here as well we have units running past a couple of point T1 PD, which is never a good idea unless you have some arty, which he does. Those are going to focus those down, and that's going to have a bad time. Alright, but these forces are going to have to fall back in the face of superior numbers. Not much more they can do. Our factory is up, and it looks like Engi's out to do a reclaim order because there's a bit of mass available, so why not use it? Now where? There we go. I was about to ask where is DK's comm. He's down here pushing it on Toponi's base. Is there any anti-air in the mix? Well, there isn't. So these bombers are actually free to carpet bomb with their T1 napalm, and they do it very well against the weaker Aeon units. Alright, but stand your ground. Then comes the commander, and he can actually outrange these. They won't shoot back at him, but the ground forces are dwindling, the ground forces are gone. So, without that backup, I don't think he really wants to stick around. Looks like Pony popped out up here to kill off a few units as well. Just do that again, because why not? Get him back into the Navy game, so he's sticking with that Navy. But over here, is that DK overextending? Got bombers flying over here. He has got some anti-air around with him, but now he's got units coming at him as well, so he's down to the yellow. Is this T1 bomber spam? Is this actually going to work? Combine that with all the units coming in. Has he got no... was Inti's wall up here? That's a lot of bombers of DK's own though. However, here's the problem. It comes down to the yellow. Toponi gets away and he's in the water. The bombers from DK lose track, and now DK is in trouble. His commander is down to the yellow, down to a third health. Going to go into the red very shortly. There we go. So he's down to the red on his comm, and finally the interceptors show up. And that should be enough to keep him alive. 2,000 health. He has got the gun upgrade in his comm. These tanks won't last too much longer. Don't think this is going to be quite enough to get him. He's going to be very unhealthy. Not too far away. 1,000 health. 1,200, sorry. Doesn't quite drop right down. Now he's got reinforcing units. He's got interceptors overhead. Yeah, he's going to get away from that okay. Not enough units to chase him down. Alright. But these are a worry for Depony if he's aware of them. Because, nope, he hasn't seen them at all. In fact, he doesn't even have radar. Let's have a look at Eco. So, DK is stalling hard on power. Not where you want to be. He's got approximately 40... If he doesn't stall on power, I think he's got 50 income. If you have a look at Depony, who's stalling even harder on power. Wow. Guys are just having an e-stall game, although when he evens out, he is on 76. I think he's ahead. Because of this, he's just at a very successful rate. He's taken out Hydro, he's taken out a few factories, and the mass. So that is a very, very effective raid. Question is, what's he going to do with all that? Units coming back in from DK to help out, and is he bringing his commander over? No, he's just staying in the water, because that is a clever idea. And hello, we do have a shift into T2 air from DK, so that is probably where some of his power is going. He is finishing up well, he's started a T2 power generator, so that will supply all his power needs, and he could begin with the T2 Torp bombers, and that will shoo Depony out of the water. And if you can catch him with these, or even with his commander, maybe if he was a bit healthier. Maybe if he was a bit healthier. And this force here, just building up on Depony's doorstep, but I think it could probably rush in and do alright. It wasn't for this point defense, but the point defense has a problem with the hill. And we have a burning mass extractor. Blocking the view. There we go. So yeah, those things are going to be trying to shoot the hill instead of the units. The flip kick side could go for the units as well, though. They may be going for that. But up the top, this is a massive push from Depony right into DK's base. And this is going to cause some havoc. Has he got any arty in there? Well, he does. And if they take out that T2P gen, that's bad news. Stick up in the corner, keep away from the point defense, and start raining down fire. All these PGs are very vulnerable, but I think all the arty has died, so now it's just tanks and AA. Yes, it is, but they sit up here in the corner. They could cause some havoc. Units are chasing from DK, but in the meantime, they may be able to take down a few PGs, and that will just be really annoying for him, although he is in the positive, so he shouldn't be too bad. Check out what's going on the rest of the map while we have that push we mentioned over here. There is a bunch of T1 artillery in here, so they're going to be able to take out point defense, just like that. I have not seen any tech from Depony. I take that back, there's T2 air over here. Bombers coming out, and you watch that spread formation go. They'll put out a blanket of fire on all these T1 units. And they have just been decimated. And they have to fall back because what's left is anti-air, basically. We can up here though, that has been a few more PGs popped. We have that swarm of T1 bombers have come over and clean up the group at the back, but more units are popping in, and this is actually some T1 arty. But T1 PD is going to say no, these guys are going to have to fall back. So Depony has pushed right up to his opponent's base on the right here. Plenty of T1 air bombers in the mix to help shoo it off. We do have T2 air right here as well, but they're lacking in that power. Yeah, they're going to get built. In the Navy, it's all T1. At least it can stop the hover, which is exactly what he's got it out for, to stop those hover units going where they will. We see DK has pushed back up with his comp. He's ripped up to about almost 5,500 hit points, so he's not looking too bad. Down here, I think this is the surprise. We have a couple of T2 pigeons, so Toponi should be fine on that. And this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and more. Good old Janus. Carpet bomber nightmare. And speaking of bombers, here come these. If they keep going that way, they're going to run into all of them. Does DK have any idea it's all there? Well, no, he doesn't. He hasn't actually scouted. So he doesn't even know there's an air factory down there. So what's he going to do with these? Well, they're going to hang around, skip on past. Nope, they're turning back. They've decided they're going to kill all this, and Janus. Looking at 8 Janus now, and if Toponi finds DK's comm, that could be it. Well, he's seen him, knows he's there, and he calls GG. Why does he call GG? Because of these. So here they come. Units crushing in on the comm. T1, so not a huge worry, but it's those. Burn, baby, burn. There's a lot of T1 anti-air as well, but there is also a lot. And a rank in veterancy does help DK survive a bit longer. But as the anti-air goes down in the fires of Janus, there's just not enough left. There's no interceptors. And this is going to be DK. Down and out. Caught without anti-air, enough anti-air, caught without interceptors. Trying to avoid the fiery pits of hell. Gets stuck in it over and over again. If he actually does get out of this. Nope, he doesn't. There we have it. That is a win for Toponi. Alright, I'll admit, that one wasn't bad to cast. Bit of fun there. Seemed like, I will say, Toponi looked a little bit on the ropes, but I believe that was because he was focusing on getting some eco up, particularly down here. All this build assistance here, and the T2 pigeons there under the shield, so I believe he was focusing on getting eco up here, with specifically the idea of getting the T2 air. And then he used that as a surprise, because it had never been attacked, never been spotted. Jumped on DK with those Janus, of which he had 6 left. Probably built a couple more, but didn't have those. It would have been a worry, because DK was wandering towards his base. So good little fight. Necessary. Maybe a couple. Get out a bunch of frigates. Get to T2. Still, you know, I criticize, but you won. Yeah, Toponi won that. Alrighty, folks. Well, I want to say thank you for everybody who's here. Thank you for everybody who ate. Thank you, Toponi, for being one of the first people here and also providing this replay to watch. But we are going to wrap things up. I've run out of things to cast, and there are no games around for me to join at the moment either. So, folks, I want to say thank you. Have yourselves a good day, morning, evening, whatever time zone you're in. Take it easy. Take care. Stay safe. Farewell.